Good morning and welcome to Banbury Rugby Union Football Club. It's day 2 of the England Touch Series, and today it's the Elite National Touch Series. It's round 2 and we're live all morning. 6 games coming for you this morning, and we're going to start with the Thames Valley Vikings against Green and Gold. And then at 10:30 we've got the CSSC London Eagles, their first team, taking on the Surrey Bisons. Game 3 is at 11 o'clock. And that'll be the Raptors taking on Chester Cheetahs. Game 4 at 11:30 sees the Nottingham Hoods take on Revolution. Game 5 at 12 o'clock midday. That'll be the Bareback Riders, the 2019 England Touch winners. They taking on the Norwich Rebels. And then Game 6 from Pool B, Oxford taking on the CSSC London Eagles, third team. We'll then have a half an hour break and we'll be back with the knockout stages for this afternoon. And we'll be finishing up at 5 o'clock with the cup final. So plenty of touch rugby to look forward to for the rest of the day. And of course there's an important football match tonight, so we're finishing in plenty of time so you can all go and watch that. I'm delighted to say that joining me this morning is Chris Wearmouth, the Communications and Marketing Director of England Touch.
Thanks for the promotion.
Well, after yesterday, I think you deserve it. So.
Oh, it's all down to my good colleague and compadre Daniel Lewis for making me look really good. Because he's the Instagram meister.
So he's right behind you. Obviously, it's like radio, you can't see, but Daniel's got a huge smile on his face after that.
Well, I'm glad he got. Hold on a second. Did you get me the coffee? Oh, excellent, thank you.
we all need caffeine. We all need caffeine. It's a long day.
Oh, after yesterday, it did end up being a long old day yesterday, as these tournaments inevitably are. But it was a good day yesterday, I think, wasn't it?
It certainly was, and I think that looking forward to the knockout stages this afternoon. I know we're getting ahead of ourselves a bit, but the knockout stages yesterday were some outstanding games and very close games as well.
I think the competitive nature of it is the massive highlight from yesterday. You know, we had Peterborough won the plate. They went from 20th to 9th overall. We had 2 different finalists. We had Yorkshire Thorns come back in and just show how much they've carried on developing by coming straight in and finishing 4th. And you know, I ended up refereeing some of their game against Cheltenham and Cheltenham Tigers, who won the previous game, who won the previous tournament. They just beat Yorkshire Thorns, and Galaxy, who won the overall thing, won their previous 2 games in the knockouts with plays on the hooter.
Yes.
So it was massively competitive all day yesterday, and certainly I think 2 weeks ago when we had the first round of the Elite National Touch Series, we had certainly I think 3 games go to drop off in the knockout stages, something like that.
Yeah, that's similar yesterday. Yeah.
Yeah. So similar to yesterday, and the what's happened from round 1 to round 2 is that the pools have been seeded based on the last round, whereas last round they were seeded on 2019.
Yeah.
So everything should be nice and level over the course of the day, and it'll be interesting to see how Thames Valley Vikings do in this opening round. They were one of the surprise packages in terms of some of the results they got last week. I hope they don't mind me saying so.
The 4 wins out of their 6 games in round 1, so they certainly made a good showing for themselves, finishing 10th overall. Green and Gold 22nd. So, and again, I know we talked about this yesterday in the development series, but you would expect Thames Valley to be the favourites going into this opening game.
Yeah, they've brought in a couple of players. They've bolstered their squad compared to 2 weeks ago. So Sammy Phillips, who's she's the England Touch Head of Elite Performance and National Development Manager. She's come back in and she's starting in the mids for this game, number 85. So so that brings back a massive amount of experience and know-how. Nathan Burke with the baseball cap at the link position on the near side of the field. He moved from Galaxy London over the off season. So they've got a smattering of international experience all the way through. Green and Gold, based in northwest London. Northeast London. They've got a mixture of. They've got plenty of elder statesmen of the England setup, and that's Simon Whitten, one of them, and Keith Dunleavy. He's another. Those players they've been around the touch scene for a fair few years. They've been at World Cups and European Championships, and Keith Dunleavy going for the first try there, but Sammy Phillips making the touch, and so I would expect Vikings to win. But on the other hand, yesterday, I mean, all of my predictions yesterday were for toffee. So,
well, it's a strong start from Green and Gold as they have the first handling error there, which will see possession taken by Thames Valley. So a chance for them to get their first attack on the board in this first minute. Yeah,
it was the right thing for Green and Gold to do, to run a switch to get the ball back into the midfield, because you had man-on-man marking on the or player-on-player marking, should I say, in terms of on the links and the wings.
Nice. Thames Valley coming through, but the touch and possession will return to Green and Gold from their 7-metre line. Yeah,
this is going to be really tough for Green and Gold now, because they have to answer like for like in terms of what they've just been under from Vikings. Vikings went from their own 7-metre line, sorry, Freudian slip there, 7-metre line up to the Green and Gold 7-metre line in their 6 touches. Green and Gold now forthcoming, I think, coming up to this. This is a good, so that's the 5th touch. So that's good. So that was good driving there from Green and Gold. So a Freudian slip, because last year it was a 5-metre. 2 years ago it was a 5-metre line out from the goal line. This year, following a rule change, a number of kind of minor law rule changes, is that it's a 7-metre, and it was one of those things where the offside line used to be 5 metres, but we were always told as referees to take it back to 7 or 8 metres, and then following some trials in Australia, the rule was then changed to being a formal flat 7 metres, which is a long way.
Well, here's Thames Valley, a chance to open the scoring, but handled in the zone.
Yeah, Sinead Hughes there. That was a John Weston Stanley, who's one of the England Men's Open players, and also the England Boys 18's head coach. Just really attacking on the scoop and doing exactly what he needed to do. Picking the ball up, turning on the afterburners, and that really should have been finished off for Vikings for the opening try.
It's Green and Gold who have possession over the halfway.
So I think we can see the pace is already up from yesterday, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. And so the difference, obviously, between elite and development.
Yeah, so it's going to be an inevitable bit of ring rust. First game of the morning, everybody's turned up in the last hour and warmed up.
Very different conditions from yesterday, because we started yesterday in rain, so you got a lot of handling errors because the ball was slippy. Now it's dry, it's sunny, it's given the pitch a chance to dry out overnight. There's been no rain overnight, so you would expect better passing, running rugby, wouldn't you, in that situation? Yeah,
you will, absolutely. I think there's fewer excuses for there to be handling errors.
Here come Green and Gold. Out on the right-hand side. Just a shame that was, because there was plenty of space for the touchdown, but it's Thames Valley who come through the middle. 2 touches already.
It was one of those classic thinking about what you're going to do with the ball before you've caught it, even though it was right there in the breadbasket to open the scoring. And to be fair, Green and Gold have started the game very well, but as the 20 minutes wears on, those are the kind of chances that they need to finish off. Now it's one missed chance for both teams.
And there's another. I've seen a couple of handling after all we spoke about the weather and cutting out the handling errors. We have seen 1 or 2 so far in this game. Green and Gold with possession again as they come out to the left-hand side. Down it goes, a chance to bring fresh legs on.
Yeah, so it's Brett Milligan. He's one of the more experienced international players I was telling about, and Keith Dunleavy as well, and Simon Whitten. So as we see, it also goes to show as that if you're of a certain age, and we saw this with Mark Hobson yesterday as well, who's in the England men's 50s, is that this is a really great sport for you to stay fit and stay active, and also it showed because the high performance team has a full set of strength and conditioning, and which is tailored very much to the age groups, and so it really, everybody works ridiculously hard on their fitness to be able to maintain it, because ultimately we benchmark ourselves against Australia and New Zealand.
Yes.
And they are ridiculously fit. So we need all of our players to be like that and fast. So, and that's
here's the first chance, and that will be the first try, I think.
Yes,
it is.
So all that was, I mean, that was created by a little bit of pace, which then forced, as I said a few minutes ago, 7 metres is a very long way, and it was just, so that it wasn't created by an overlap. It was just Keith Dunleavy there was just had if on the wider shot, as we could see from our vantage point, is that Sammy was Keith Dunleavy's player to mark there, and he'd had just one eye out on what could possibly happen if he got dragged in, and it then just created that space going through. So that's just a bit of pace and accuracy there from the Vikings to open the scoring.
So Thames Valley with the 1-0 lead. Can Green and Gold answer straight away? They're close to the try line. They have to go back to 7 metres. A good drive this by Green and Gold. Being pushed back though. Good defence by Thames Valley. Now a bit of speed. Can they get it out? No, there's a loose pass and Thames Valley take possession once again. So now it's building down the left-hand side.
Yeah, Vikings working really well through the sub-box there to get players coming on with momentum into the play.
And it seems to be working as they go deep into Green and Gold territory. But I think that is 6 touches. They have to give up possession back to Green and Gold.
Yeah, Tom Simpson there was the half who was caught as well. And I think Vikings, what you'll see is that all of a sudden now what Green and Gold now haven't worked past the sub-box just as well. So players are coming on, they're having to come on from behind the play to then accelerate in.
Yeah.
And then you end up with it, you end up taking a couple of touches to go 5 or 10 metres. And you have to then make a play with 30 metres out from the line or 25 metres out from the line, which is not what you want. Vikings were really aiming to start subbing as they were going into the opposition half. And so it then means that players can then come on and as I say, can keep that momentum up, keep that pace up going into the opposition half.
It's Thames Valley with possession once again.
Yeah, watch out for London Eagles, doing that very well as well in the next game.
Yeah, London Eagles, 3 teams in this elite series. So
yes.
They're obviously very, very deep.
And won yesterday as well.
Yes.
So, there's only a couple of players who were here yesterday who will be playing again today, and that's because, like Vikings yesterday, is that they had a couple of players with experience. So Tom Simpson was one who we saw just a minute ago. He was playing yesterday, and a lot of clubs do that. We'll put a couple more experienced players just to anchor the less experienced players.
Yep, another try there.
And that's one thing.
2-0.
And that's one thing that we didn't see yesterday so much in terms of the fizzing passes until we got to the final stages.
A long pass out.
Yeah, that was Josh Henderson. He's he's like 6'4", but he's only 19, 19 or 20. He was in the England boys 18s in Paris 2 years ago. So he's actually played with John Weston Stanley coaching him. And they very much coach the boys 18s to be a feeder into the men's open. So they play a lot of similar moves, a lot of similar tactics, and really work them to be able to get the ball wide. Because what will happen going forward, now Green and Gold know that if they're in that situation again, they have to make sure that they've got a winger marking the Vikings winger. And what that then does is we've seen that Vikings have the pace through the middle, whether it's Weston Stanley, whether it's Simpson, whether it's the Lawton Davis brothers, Sammy Phillips, they've got the ability to then pick apart and go through the middle.
I think that's something we saw yesterday where they tended to be a player almost camped on the favoured wing wherever they were playing, wherever the teams were playing. And they saw so many tries where the long pass where it worked, as it looks as if Thames Valley just needs someone open, finds it. Great play there. And Josh Henderson.
Again, he's come through. So he picked the ball up, and unfortunately Green and Gold there had a stumble in the midfield. and that then left them short-handed. And as soon as that then happens, when you've got players of the calibre of Josh Henderson, John Weston-Stanley was on as well in the middle. As soon as you've got players of that calibre, they are going to take you to pieces on that. So, what we saw yesterday, and it was particularly in the final, Louis Trez, who's playing for Galaxy London again today, is that he had the ability to get the ball wide. We saw the ability from.
Yeah, I mean, just look at that. It was the fake there that just fooled everyone on green and gold and just allowed him to make that pass for the touchdown.
And as I say, the green and gold, there was a stumble in midfield on that, as they had two players going up to make the touch at the same time. Now, this is one of these beautiful things when you're on commentary without a camera, because I've now got fingers pointing at you. So what you in that situation, the cardinal sin when you're defending is to have two players going to make a touch. And it doesn't make any difference whether it's further up the field. You need to communicate. As I said before, and I've said it twice already, and I think everybody will say it during the course of the day, 7 metres is a blooming long way. So is that when when you know that somebody else is going to make a touch, is that as the other defender, you start hauling backside back to the 7 metre line to be able to then be in the next play. If you have two people going to make the touch at the same time, when you've got a player who can scoot coming through the middle, like on that situation Josh Henderson or Tom Simpson we've seen before, as I said, I've reeled off half a dozen Vikings who can do this. They will then attack that space. You then have other defenders will then have to come in to shut that space, which then opens space out wide, which is exactly what happened there. Which was compounded because the two players in that middle then tripped over each other. One of them ended up on their backside, and I can quite easily empathise because that's happened to me more often when I'm refereeing than when I'm playing. But it's the case that as soon as that then happens, you are then in real danger of conceding against that. So Green and Gold will be talking about just that little bit of communication in defence to shut it down and to just work a little bit harder. Intensity in defence we were talking about. The shame is with Green and Gold is that they've been playing some good touch and they've got into positions, they just haven't been able to finish them off. And in terms of defence, they just need to, this is the point where that age difference doesn't matter so much when you've got the ball in hand. Age difference starts to matter when you're defending, and you're defending against pace. And this is the thing where they just need to really just increase the communication and just defend a little bit more intelligently on that.
Well, the second half about to start. Thames Valley will start us off 3-0 ahead as we start this second half. And they look to get deep into green and gold territory once again.
So what we're seeing here with Vikings is that they're bringing their female link into the midfield. And we saw that lining up with at the start of the game with Sammy Phillips. She started off in the mid, and that time they put Lauren Torley, and she was MVP from the last from Elite NTS round 1. She's also one of the female touch players who has gone on to start to play in the Premier 15s. So she was at DMP Durham Sharks in the Premier 15s this year, along with Orla McCallion, who's also playing rugby league for Leeds Rhinos. She's a familiar face on the touch scene in the northeast. So what they're doing is they're bringing these players who've got skills, who've got understanding, know-how, pace, and all of the assets that you need to be a really good mid player. They are bringing them in. What's that then doing is that they then put Josh Henderson, who is one of the we've seen his ability with ball in hand. Yeah. All of a sudden, you've then got him coming up against the female link and female winger, and you're creating. And it sounds really bad in terms of looking for mismatches, but when you've got a male player up against a female player, is what you're looking to create, to then have that kind of mismatch. Now, what you would some teams will then swap their female and male links around to create that. What Vikings have done is they've dropped their female link into the middle because she's got great ball playing ability. And this is actually what we want to see in touch is for female players, especially ones who play a lot of women's open, women's 27s, the women's only game, where they then start to have that where they then start to have that experience, we need them to be then playing more playmaking abilities in, and that's a really great bit of play from Green and Gold to take them to the line. But we want them to be involved like that, because it's only good for the game.
Yeah, and it's like you say, the more experience, the better it is for the elite program, for the national program. As players get more and more experience, and it's like you say, when you're benchmarking yourself against Australia and New Zealand, you need to get up to that level, and this obviously helps it.
Yeah, it does, and I think Mel Day on commentary yesterday was telling you that they've, that the as Josh Henderson, now they're going to get a fresh set of 6 because that was played at. He could have gone right, I think, and finished that off. I think I'm nitpicking now, really, because he was operating a lot of traffic. That Mel was saying yesterday that the Women's Open in State of Origin, a set of 6 lasted 30 seconds.
Yeah.
Which is just ridiculous as Henderson goes over. It's ridiculously quick, and we need to benchmark ourselves against that.
Yeah, and I think we was finding yesterday that generally, if you was more than 2 points ahead with 2 minutes left, you was generally winning. There was no coming back from that. So 4-0 Thames Valley lead after their latest try. I think Green and Gold just need to find an answer, really, don't they? Because Thames Valley have been very good defensively as well as taking their chances when they've got up the field into the Green and Gold zone.
Yes, I think where Green and Gold they've done really well to get themselves into those situations. Theo Oberholzer there, flowing locks of Theo Oberholzer on the link on this near side, getting the ball on the front foot. They've been getting themselves into the good positions, but it's where that position is just in terms of pulling the Vikings apart in the middle, and what's called it's what's called conditioning. You run a couple of plays a couple of times, try and get the defence second guessing what you're going to do, and then do something different. And what you'll see later on today with some of the teams is that they will line up and have the same setup, and you might even hear a call on the field, and then they'll do something completely different. But that's because the players are then expecting that everybody's switched on to expect the ball to come to them, even if it doesn't. And that way it then fools the defence completely. What Green and Gold need to do is just to get themselves into a position where they can get a fresh set of 6, they can start or force Vikings into fumbling the ball deep in their own territory, and then start to manoeuvre the Vikings play around. They just haven't had the numbers of touches deep in the Vikings territory to be able to do that, whereas Vikings have had a few sets of 6 deep, but also when Vikings have put the accelerator on, put the pace together, they've then had that ability to finish things off. As we just stopped to play because one of the Green and Gold players has just got injured on the far side.
I think by the looks of the way she went down, I think probably hamstring.
Well, I'm not going to second guess from here. I just know she took a bit of a tumble just on the far side, and I think she's just in a wee bit of pain, and we'll go over and check. We've got a couple of physios on site, and they will give her a look over, make sure she's okay.
Hope she is, as play continues and Green and Gold look to get fresh legs on and that's something that's improved from the first half.
Yes, and they've driven through, and Keith Dunleavy now, he's getting the ball, getting the ball onto the front foot. We've seen Theo Oberholzer as well, and Dunleavy's he's one of the playmakers. But so Green and Gold, they've driven well and got to within 10 metres of the Vikings line. What they need to do now is to be really forceful in defence and try and get. Now this is going to be a good opportunity for them, because they're now starting 7 metres inside the Vikings half. Yeah. What they need to do is they need to try and work their way up, force a fresh set of 6, and then, as I say, to start pulling the Vikings defence a little bit, and then creating that mismatch, creating that overlap, or that space in the middle to go and exploit.
It's crowded in the middle, but the Green and Gold, both wingers on right and left, more or less hugging the touchline. If they can get it out either way, there is a chance there, but there is a chance now. There was a touch.
So that's what I'm talking about, is that they pulled, because they've got the touches, they're able to manipulate the Vikings defence. So they came right, now they're going left, and now they've got 1 touch to play, and this is the green and gold's best set of the entire game, really, because they've had that a bit, because they've gone with that. Now that's going to be a 0 touch for Henderson, so it's a 7 touch set. Now that is a real faux pas from Vikings there. This gives green and gold a set of 6
right
on the 7.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Now what they need to do is they just need to pull the Vikings out, almost just stand there. So what's called a Mexican standoff, and force the Vikings to either concede a penalty because you've got to keep on moving forward, and pull them left or right and create that other set of 6. So all of a sudden now they've got the one. So I was talking about the two players making a touch earlier.
Yeah.
Is that Vikings have then made 2 touches of 2 players making the touch, which then opens up space behind to be able to attack. There we go.
Is that it? Yeah. And there, it's simple, really, isn't it?
It's easy to say from up here, isn't it? But they had a set of 6. So Vikings have shot themselves in the foot, but trying to be a little bit clever after the interception, whereas Henderson caught the ball, just take that 0 touch and then get going, rather than then trying to force an offload and and trying to be a bit too clever on his own 7-metre line. I don't think he'll do that again. They'll have some quiet words in the sub box, but that then gave green and gold that set of 6 on the 7-metre line, and then as we saw, they went through the middle, they went left, they came right, and had that space to be able to capitalise to get a try. Really well worked from that position, so congrats to them.
Jacqueline Davis putting the ball down for green and gold, their first score of the game. Thames Valley still leading 4-1 as we're into the final 90 seconds, and that looks like it's 5-1, and is Amanseh.
No, that's the other.
Sorry.
That's the 72 is, I don't know who 72 is on the Vikings side. They've given us some duff numbers, Johnny. That was conditioning the other way. So Tom Simpson there created that, comes through in a scoop, is that all of a sudden you're very aware of his pace. You know that he's got the ability to come through the middle, so everything just shuts down a little bit, and then it's just created that space a little bit further wide.
So 5-1 as we're into the final minute. But green and gold looking to put something else on the board, which will give them a boost for their further games. There was a touch as he dived through. And that was something we saw a lot yesterday, that the dive through the middle and just trying to get the ball down before the touch comes in.
Yeah, we got some great photos especially from the final, where Galaxy were just, they were more dives than Tom Daly. Just touched on the way through.
Yeah.
Just really, that was a lovely bit of...
It really opened up there as well. And
that switcheroony from Shane Watson, Shane Weston, sorry.
Now here's a chance. Oh, well played. And just on the buzzer, green and gold do get their second try. Just watch this again. It was the long pass.
So
really well taken as well.
Yeah, so Theo Oberholzer there has gone through the two Vikings players. So he's attracted the 2 defenders, and then they've got a 2-on-1 overlap on the outside. The winger is forced to step in because he could give a short pass to the link to score. The winger steps in. The green and gold winger is then wide and finishes things off, which is exactly what you want. So
Diane Down with the touchdown for green and gold right at the end is the tries from the game.
So that previous one, so Sammy Phillips's try, that would be the one that green and gold would be the most disappointed to concede, because it was a defensive slip and they had that create, this. I mean, this is one of those things, as I say. I think that Simon Whitten hit the deck there, and it just created that overlap for Vikings to score. But of the tries they conceded, as I say, that Sammy Phillips's one would be the one they'd be most disappointed about, because it was just a gaping hole that you could drive a tractor through through the middle. That one is, from Vikings, just a clinical bit of play there.
This is the first green and gold try, I think.
Yeah, it's just, as we saw, that came from that set of 6 on the 7. And then when you've got all of those touches to play with, you just stay chilled out. You put your feet on, not quite put your feet up, but you stay chilled out. You, as you say, you run a couple of plays. You force the defence to second guess what you're going to do. And when they got those opportunities, green and gold finished them off. They just need, in the games coming up, they just need to force those fumbles. And again, that last one came about because Vikings tried to run the ball, were a bit too flash on their own 7-metre line. Ball hits the deck, all of a sudden all of a sudden green and gold have a set of 6 on the 7, and then they again, when you've got that ability to play and you just call a play, call it again, do something different, see what the defence is doing, and then punish them. And they did that on those 2 occasions in the second half.
Well, Thames Valley Vikings win the game 5-2, the opener. Chris, thank you very much for your company. As usual, you're going to head off now. And he's topping up his tan, he says. Stay with us. We'll be back very, very shortly. 10:30 the next game. CCS London Eagles first team against the Surrey Bisons in Pool D. Join us for that very soon.
So Alan Reid, our Schools Development Officer, arranged a touch session today with the children from St Joseph's School here in Branksome. We started with about 20 children today between the ages of 7 and 11.
We don't normally have that mix from year 2 to year 6, which is what we had today.
Essentially, we explained to them a little bit about the difference between touch and tag rugby that they've been playing. We organised a warm-up, got them working together as a team, did some ball skills with them, and then we progressively took them into kind of a little touch game.
I thought the session was really good. I thought it was great for the children. They were all on task, they were all engaged. Everybody had an opportunity to play. They learnt the new rules, and it was a challenge for some of them. But I really liked that because then they had to really stop, think about what they were doing, why they were doing it, and how they were going to be successful.
Once we get them sort of catching and passing, the skills that they've learned from netball or football or any other sports, they're transferable. So they soon pick it up and they're all playing games in the playground, catching and passing and running and, playing it and things like that. So we sort of build off of those skills and then introduce touch skills as we go along. And generally over about an hour, they pick it up. And we probably end up with a game of touch netball, which is kind of a hybrid, which most of us have all played at some level. And the girls and boys, end up playing that and enjoying it.
In the touch game, you don't tend to stop players. They don't, in tag, it's tag, the game stops, somebody comes back. It's a lot of dead time, whereas with touch, it seems to be ongoing. They're constantly active.
You've got to get players in at grassroots level, and if we can get them before they are teenagers, where they've already chosen karate or badminton or whatever it might be, if we can introduce touch earlier, I think that's a great way to raise awareness, get them engaged in a sport that's all-inclusive. And actually the one difference that we've got with a lot of sports is obviously boys and girls playing together, and they don't necessarily have to stop playing together when they become teenagers, which I think they have to when it's rugby and perhaps other sports.
I saw the children's reaction to it today. They've really liked it. I've managed to speak to a couple of them, and it's something they said that they'd like to do. So from that aspect, if it's pupil voice, the children want to do it, then I'm all ears, and I would like to continue that.
So yeah, we can coach them how to coach, if you like, and so they can play some of the games and take those afterwards into the school sessions. Alternatively, if they're really interested, as we have seen with some of the children, we offer them the option to come to Bournemouth Touch Centre on a Monday night, where they can then plug into our infrastructure there, and we've got 4 kids coaches who run a session from 6:30 through to about 7:30.
Welcome back to Banbury as we get ready for Game 2 of the Elite National Touch Series, Round 2, and it's the CSSC London Eagles first team taking on the Surrey Bisons. And I'm delighted to welcome John Weston Stanley, the England Men's Open Middle and Boys Under 18 head coach. John, welcome.
Hey guys, thanks for having me.
Thames Valley Vikings as well, so off to a winning start, but you said to me off air you wasn't too happy with that.
No, a bunch of us were late to arrive today, and hot conditions, lack of warm up. I think we could have been a bit more switched on. We let through a couple of easy tries, and it would have been good to keep it to a clean sheet.
So very similar shirts here, so this could get quite difficult as we go through this. The London Eagles are the team on the right hand side, Surrey Bisons are on the left. And that's about as much as I can give you, because I realise this may get a little confusing for you watching on YouTube, but we will do our best to get through it as the Eagles get us underway. Driving through, it's Josh Bendel. And they almost made the 7-metre line very, very early. Good move this by the Eagles. And the touch comes in.
Yeah, good yards on tap-off play there.
Yeah.
Surrey Bisons seem quite content to just roll to their line and move into line D.
Still possession for the Eagles. Running through there. There's a bit of a gap opened up. Is that the opening try? I think it is. Yes, it is. And we'll see the replay in a second, but that would be the start that the London Eagles wanted.
Yeah, certainly nice sweeper, step back play there, and just running holes options on the open side. Nice score.
Yeah, Josh Bandel putting the ball down. So the first attack pays dividends. And it's a good start for the London Eagles. Now what can Surrey Bisons do? They've got the slight purple trim on their shirts, which will make them easier to tell apart, but they come straight through now. Is that down?
It looks like a good reply.
Yeah, great reply. So straight away they come back. We'll see the replay here. Just coming through the middle, and the gap opened up. Nice fake pass there.
Yeah, nice little 33 counties play there, and just taking the easy option slide into the 32 channel. It's a good score. Let's hope for a high-scoring game.
Well, certainly looking that way. A score each from their opening drives. Because in the first round, London Eagles getting through to the semi-final of the cup competition. And they finished in 4th place overall. Surrey Bisons finishing 16th in round 1. So on that aspect, you would expect the Eagles to be the favourites for this game, but sometimes it just doesn't work like that.
You certainly would, yeah. But the way the season is going at the moment, there's obviously a lack of availability for certain players, so a lot of teams aren't putting out what we would deem a full-strength side. As you can see from the Eagles on the right-hand side, I think the only player, I think, of an international level out there at the moment is Miles Partridge.
From a sort of playing point of view, how much of an effect did the almost 2-year break have?
I think it depends on the personality, really. A lot of people use it as a chance to, like myself, double down and do a lot of physical training, so you can come back in relatively good condition. But
it's that a try given. There was a slight mishandle, but it still went back and over in the corner. Let's just watch this again. It was Olivia Turner who went over.
Yeah, just picked up and burnt short side. Short side defenders decided to shut on that occasion, so an easy walk in for the winger.
So that's 2-1 to the Surrey Bisons. And I don't think London would have been expecting that.
Obviously, they would like to keep this game to a clean sheet as well, but they're still in the lead for the time being, so we'll see where we get to.
You're having your picture taken, so I'll step back a second.
I am? Where's the cameraman?
It seemed to be a feature yesterday with all the co-coms and teammates wanting to take photos to record it for posterity. So.
Yeah, got to get it all over social media, haven't you?
So it's all about the Instagram likes.
Absolutely.
So it's the London Eagles who come again, and that's
lovely little quickie play.
Yeah, a lot of space there for the touchdown. And it was Nani Osman who put it down. So 2-2 with less than 5 minutes played already. And Surrey Bisons looking to retake the lead, mishandling error, so that will give possession back to the London Eagles. Sorry, it's still Surrey's possession. And dived in. Was there a touch beforehand? Yes, there was. And now it's London's possession. It was something we saw in the first match where the ball gets worked into the middle and the attempt to dive through the middle of two players to try and get it down before the touch. It's often effective, but sometimes not so, as we saw there.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think that was just good line defence, really.
Yeah.
The middle's not competing too early. Equally, the saving middle, stepping up off the line and just treading, protecting that touching middle. But yeah, a lot of people going direct. We've seen both teams here seem to be fond of a 33 quickie. We'll see if they look to develop that game plan throughout the day. But yeah, look, it's a good start.
With the conditions as well, it's sunny, it's hot, it's dry. If it stays like this, and bearing in mind that you play 6 games in a day, does that take its toll? Because I think yesterday we were saying that there was handling errors at the start because it was raining for the first hour or so. Then it dried out and got incredibly humid. Now with it being sort of hot and sunny, does that take it out of you as you get into the sort of those latter stages of the day?
Yeah, absolutely. It also depends on the style of game plan that you're running. A lot of the teams here, particularly some of the fitter ones, will look to run quite an expansive a game plan, move the ball around a lot in the midfield as well. Whereas some of the teams, maybe some of the slightly older or inexperienced teams might look to just keep it in the middle of the park and not be quite so expansive, run a lot of 33 quickies and such. So it depends on how you approach the game as well.
London.
Nice score there.
Yeah, London taking the lead. Getting it out to the wing in the zone. And nice score there. Megan Pemberton putting the ball down. But great work beforehand to work the ball out to her. And it's London now who lead by 3 tries to 2. So 7 minutes just gone in this first half. Plenty of scoring so far. Now this space out on the wing, just a little too high. Abigail Nankaro just above that.
Yeah, we can see they're sticking to that 33 counties platform, but this time opting to take the short side option. So it's good progression from Surrey.
London have possession back now. Driving towards the halfway.
Lovely bit of footwork there. And again, making great yards. Oh, it's a shame she couldn't keep her feet.
And Josh Bendel getting through a play we saw yesterday as well. And now a bit of speed. Was there a touch? Yes, there was a try-saving touch right at the end. Hopefully get a chance to see that again. As Surrey come away and drive towards the halfway line. And this is a good drive deep into Eagles territory, but running over.
Yeah, it's a shame. They had a nice roll on that. It'd been a lovely attacking platform to pick up from.
Here's that touch, just again, it was superb try-saving touch, but great speed shown to make the space and get into the zone in the first place.
Yeah, Eagles demonstrating some lovely footwork and agility, particularly in the midfields. So, I mean, if they can get themselves into a scoring platform more frequently, I'd expect them to start tearing Surrey apart in the second half.
Harry Richards there again with another try-saving stop. So, some great last-ditch defending by the Surrey Bisons in the last couple of minutes. But it's the London Eagles who still lead by 3-2. But do you think they'll be disappointed that they're not further ahead after gaining all that possession?
Well, I think Surrey are doing a great job to stay in it at the moment. You mentioned a couple of wonderful last-ditch touches, but in my opinion, if they're last ditch, there's something going wrong prior to that. So there's obviously a mild lack in defensive structure there. And Eagles being the slightly more experienced team that they are, I'd expect them to start identifying defensive weaknesses in the second half.
So the hooter about to go. There it is. Final play. And that breaks down. So we go into half-time. The CSSC London Eagles with 3 tries to Surrey Bisons 2. Entertaining half.
It was, yeah. And I'm bigging up Eagles a little bit here, but it's still very close. This could go either way. It should be an interesting watch.
It's like you mentioned there, you just said that you expect the Eagles, with their experience, to identify probably the defensive weaknesses that Surrey have shown, like we said, with their 2 last-ditch tackles to save tries there. Would you expect the Eagles to come out in this second half and probably look to dominate a little bit more, especially within the Surrey zone?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, also conscious that it's the first game of the day in hot conditions, so I think both sides will certainly not look to run at full intensity. They would ideally like to operate at about 80% and just execute. So whilst they want to get some dominance in the start of the second half, I don't expect them to come out all guns blazing. Just
to talk about the Thames Valley Vikings, who of course you play for, what are your ambitions for today? It finished 10th last time. I would expect you looking to finish a lot better than that.
I mean, fingers crossed. Yeah, you always turn up to win every game you play. It doesn't always go your way, but that's always the intent. So we'll start off with winning all our pool games, and we'll take it from there.
Okay. And so you are under 18s head coach. How important is the development series that we had yesterday in terms of finding and identifying them players for the under 18s?
Yeah, it's wonderful for the sport as a starting point, because it gets all the youngsters involved. And then it gets them into the organisation, and we can funnel them up upstream. And it's wonderful also for me to see some of the youngsters who played boys under 18s now in the men's team. So I'm coaching boys I'm playing with boys that I've coached, which is great, because it means I understand how they play. And it means that the cohesion on field is really, really strong, and ultimately will lead to better results.
Yes, we was talking with Chris in the previous game about the ambition is to look at Australia and New Zealand and how they set up, how they play in their systems, and the ambition is to get to that level.
Absolutely. I've been out in Australia for a couple of tours over the last couple of years. Been very, very fortunate, and certainly the standard at which they play, even at a club level over there, is quite. Well, I wouldn't say spectacular, but it's something to certainly aim for. And then they give us wonderful competition, which is why we go out there so frequently. Yeah. So yeah, it's certainly something that we want to get to, and certainly get to a position where we can start challenging those top teams.
Well, second half underway. Surrey who get us underway, and they're straight on the attack towards the 7-metre line. Quick hands. Touchdown, and I think that is going to be a try, and is. So it's another quick start after a quick start in the first half. So let's look at this one again.
Yeah, lovely little sweeper play there, and the ball carrier just noticing that the touching middle hasn't made the line yet, so correct call, going for the line, gets the score.
Thomas Hardiman putting the ball down, just finding the gap, and it's something we mentioned in the first half, just finding that gap in the middle and looking to get the ball down before the touch.
Yeah, just going route run, really sensible play there, taking the sort of less risky option, and paying dividends.
So 3-3, but it's Eagles beyond the 7-metre. Is that down in time? No, there was a touch. Nani Osman just couldn't get it down in time. Now play turned back over to Surrey. Have to use the 6 to try and drive forward using the sub box, but something Chris mentioned, they'll probably not be happy because the play's coming in behind rather than with the play.
Yeah, you can see Eagles trying to apply a little bit more defensive pressure in the midfield here, although getting beaten on the edge.
Yeah,
lovely play from Surrey to take the lead.
Yeah, 4-3 Surrey. We'll see the replay in a second, and that was just all about speed, really.
Yeah, and also just identification of space. They noticed that London Eagles are pushing up a little bit in the midfield, and that their links were dropping off. So as you can see here, female link just on her heels, retreating backwards. So it's quite easy to beat around the outside.
Yeah, Dan Askew with the latest score for Surrey. So work to do for the London Eagles. So the 3-2 advantage they had going into the second half. And now Surrey have the advantage with less than 2.5 minutes played of this second period. However, the Eagles come again, but good defence by the Bison.
Yeah, you can see Miles Partridge there just looking for a nice sweep of play, step back, looking at hole one, wasn't quite on, so he pulled out, looking for a little bit of support. It's a shame they can't convert in this area.
So Surrey have the ball once again. Up to the right-hand side.
Again, better defensive pressure in the midfield from Eagles here. I think that's fourth touch, they're only just over halfway. So if they can get a good press here, as line's not in play, they should be in a fairly comfortable defensive position.
And the ball is fumbled. So that will give possession back to the Eagles, who, with less than 7 minutes left, if they want to win this game, they're probably going to have to show a little bit more intensity. Go on.
They are, yeah. Although making relatively good yards, so let's see if they can convert when they get to the line.
Coming forward now, there's some great speed, but there's a touch and doesn't find a teammate the pass.
Yeah, defensive line just offside there, so we get a penalty and a nice line attack scenario.
There's Narni Osman with the ball. Oh, that's a nice pass. And parity once again for the London Eagles. There's Max Panicard putting the ball over.
Yeah, sticking with that quickie platform. Nice little step back, just hitting hole one there. And you can see defensive open side link just playing a little bit loose there. So
two defenders going to Narni Osman there, and it just left the space in the middle to put the ball down.
4 apiece. It's everything to play for.
It is. It's been a back and forth game. No team getting more than a point ahead, and Surrey Bisons, but that was a touch. Just as Charlie Steed was putting the ball over. There's Steed again. I think he was just touched before. He was.
Yeah, lovely diving touch there from the short side link. You can see Surrey trying to identify and target the female defensive links here. That time not quite converting it, but it's good identification of defensive weaknesses.
Into the final 5 minutes of this game now. And I think it's fair to say Surrey have surprised London here with the way they've attacked, the tries they've scored. And I think we said that we expected London to be favourites for this game, but Surrey have given a great account of themselves.
They certainly have, yeah, and we love to see it. We don't want to see teams walking over others. We want to see really competitive matches, and 4 apiece, this is almost an ideal scenario for any unbiased watchers out here.
So, however, is that a try? Yes, it is. Miles Partridge going over. So London do take the lead once again. And Narni Osman with the pass out. And a lot going through Narni Osman.
Yeah, I mean, we saw the same play just up the other end. This time Eagles targeting that female defensive link. And unfortunately Miles just burning her on the outside, which is a fairly predictable scenario with the pace that boy's got.
So, can Surrey reply? 3.5 minutes left. So they have got the time to do it. Here they come now over the 7 metre. No, there was a touch.
Nice touch, but lovely attacking platform there. Looked really smooth and well drilled. So they've obviously got a nice little attacking pod here going. Who knows what they're doing.
Oh, just a shame as it's mishandled out on the right wing. So Eagles will retake possession. What will be their thinking with 3 minutes left? Go for another score or just try and manage the game?
I mean, one score ahead is by no means a cushion, so I think first port of call is that let's just complete the set and get the ball down the other end of the park. If you can get a score off the back of it, then happy days. But right now, everything in my head would be shouting, ball security.
Into the middle, they breach the 7 metre.
Lovely little 33 counties there from Miles, and a beautiful dive to finish it off.
So Miles Partridge with the latest try, and that gives the London Eagles a 2-point cushion. We'll see it here. Just avoiding the touch and sliding in. 6-4, the London Eagles lead, and just showing that extra bit of experience they have in the last 5 minutes.
Yeah, and it's a poor game, first game of the day, but equally the last couple of minutes when you're only 1 up or we were drawing 4-4 a minute ago, it does ramp up the pressure because you want to get that win, and when you're losing the clock, you start to make mistakes. So the experience of Eagles, showing here, and just getting down the field at speed and getting an attacking platform for Miles to finish on was just really, really good to see.
Although Surrey not giving up, and they're within the 7 metre line once again, and they've reduced it to 1.
Yeah, lovely score there.
So another score for the Surrey Bison.
Yeah, another 33 counties play. These guys seem to be going tit for tat at the moment.
So just coming into the final minute, 1 point in it, but it is the Eagles with possession. As they look to go past the 7 metre line. Just coming back a bit of game management coming into play as Nani Osman has it, puts it down. It's going to come to the right wing, but touch was made. Back we go. And possession is turned back over to the Surrey Bison. They've got about 25 seconds. So they're going to have to be really quick. 2 touches already though.
Yeah, they're going to have to do something special from here. 10 seconds.
Yeah, not even over halfway. So we'll see what happens. Now they're starting to dry, but there goes the hooter. The next touch will break it down. Unless Bisons can put it over. No, there's the touch. Well, a great show by Surrey Bisons, but in the end, the London Eagles just having a little too much for them with a 6-5 victory. But great game, John.
Yeah, it was a really good one to watch from a neutral's perspective. Quite a high-scoring game in this short format, only 10 minutes and a half. But some lovely play, and from both teams, great yardage in the midfield, which was good to see.
And here's the tries once again being played through. See, this was London's first. That was the mishandle that got the ball out to Olivia Turner to put down in the corner. And London equalising once again, so that was 2-2. And then the early stages, it seemed to be almost like a game of basketball with try.
Yeah, a little bit equally. Both teams coming out quite strong, so going tit for tat, 1 up each end. But also what was interesting to see is both teams playing a very similar game plan. Loving that 33 platform, lots of counties plays, and looking just to pick on that touch in the middle.
And this was Surrey taking the lead 4-3. early in the second half. But then London just starting to let their experience show. That was 4-4. And then not long after it was 5-4. Narni Osman central to everything. As Miles Partridge put the ball down. Okay. Well, John, it's a pleasure to have your company for this game. I know you've got to get off and play another game for Thames Valley. Good luck for the rest of the day, and thank you very much for joining us.
Thanks for having me, mate.
So there are the tries. A victory for the London Eagles in this Pool D encounter. 6 tries to 5 against the Surrey Bisons. Stay with us. We'll be back shortly with the Pool E clash between the Raptors and the Chester Cheetahs. Join us for that very soon. But for now, for the moment, it's goodbye.
It's Monday night, we're at Bournemouth Touch Centre. We have 2 sessions in play this evening. We've got our Children's ETA Touch Academy for 7 to 12-year-olds playing behind me. On my left we've got O2 Touch. We coach them sort of 7 key steps of learning how to play touch so that they can actually get playing by the end of the evening. Here at Bournemouth Touch Centre, we're at one of the busiest sports centres in the country, so there's lots and lots of kids clubs here, with hundreds of children playing football and other sports on a Saturday, and we're slowly seeing children come and try touch with us, which is fantastic. I think we've got 13 or 14 children here today.
Bournemouth Touch has been great fun, and people have been really helpful at just teaching you what to do. I was new to it just a couple of months ago, and yeah, people have really helped me to improve, so it's been great.
We've got about 400 what I call sort of friends of touch on Facebook, 100 active players that are perhaps locally based. We became one of the first 17 clubs in England to actually start promoting the O2 Touch offering.
It's helped me recover from injury when I did it seriously back in May, and it's just helped me keep fit and helped me keep in touch with rugby, really.
A really fabulous, friendly place. There's always huge amount of people who come down of all ages, and we have a fabulous evening whatever the weather.
There's obviously always going to be a competitive element to sport, and there's going to be people that want to develop not only their playing but their refereeing skills and coaching skills, and we laid that on for a good group of people. And there was a hardcore, maybe of about 15, 16 of us that did the coaching courses, the refereeing courses with the ETA and Benny Powell and various others. With that, all the time, we have been sort of feeding the bottom of the pyramid with social touch and being very, very active within the O2 setup. That really is a pathway, it's the feeder into sort of developing touch, and without that feeder you're not going to get the players coming through to play in in tournaments or leagues or going on to represent their regional teams.
Bournemouth Touch Centre is so great because the people who organise it, Alan Reid and Jason Cunningham, have been doing it for nigh on 15 years. So they know what they're doing, they put a lot of time and effort into promoting it. There's new players turning up every week, and of course that makes it more competitive, and people enjoy it more because of the competitiveness.
Just the camaraderie. Like I said, I first moved here from Bath, and then I met Jace. It's been great with the community.
We are one of the most successful touch clubs down here on the south coast. We would love to have you down here at our Bournemouth Touch session.
This is Bournemouth Touch Centre.
Welcome back to Banbury. Game 3 of the morning is the Pool E clash between the Raptors and the Chester Cheetahs. And I'm delighted to welcome Naomi Fearnett from the London Eagles, who joins me on co-commentary. Good morning, Naomi.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
Pleasure to have you here. You've just come off the field after a very, very close game against the Surrey Bisons.
Yeah, a bit too close for my liking, but no, it was a good start to the day. We made a few silly areas, but I think we managed to come back, luckily, in the second half.
Very, very close game. I know they were your opponents, but they gave a good account of themselves, Surrey.
They did, yeah, no, they did really well. I think we were a bit sleepy maybe to start the first half, given it was the first game, and yeah, it's Sunday morning. But I think, yeah, luckily we managed to pull through. But no, they did really well. They made us work for it, that's for sure.
So, Raptors against the Chester Cheetahs. Raptors in the white shirts. They are playing from right to left in this first half. Chester in the black. Navy blue. I need to get my eyes tested. With the red trim, and they'll be playing from left to right. Raptors 5th in round 1. And the Chester Cheetahs were 20th in round 1. So on that basis, you would expect the Raptors to maybe be the favourites for this game.
Raptors would probably be favourites going in. I mean, they've got a lot of uni students. A lot of them come from the Exeter team, obviously. Yep. So they're fast and young, very speedy. You'll see them come around here setting up a sweeper and probably dive. Oh, he's in. First score.
Yeah, it's great. Great score. That was Alec Pizzo coming through the middle. We'll see the replay here.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, no, they executed this really well. Got the link sweeping round, and yeah, just miscommunication there in the defence. Yeah,
Pizzo just using his speed to go through the middle, and we saw that a lot actually in your game, where players just going through, just finding that gap in the middle and putting the ball down before the touch. Something we saw a lot yesterday as well. However, here come the Chester Cheetahs as they look to get back on terms.
Let's see if they can set one up here. Got the girls setting a strike dump, and oh, good hole. But good touch there from Emily Bayliss, the Raptors link.
Yeah, Daniel Evans just looking to go through, but was touched. Yeah, so we've got a replay. See, ball goes down. Evans gets the ball back, but yeah, just the touch on the shoulder, and she was going down. So a fast start to this one, with less than 2 minutes played so far. The Raptors again. Oh, there's real speed, but he's the half. He needs to pass it, and does. And that's another try. Fast start by the Raptors. It was Alexander Morris. He was the half. He couldn't put the ball down.
It was good support play there by the team members. Often you do go over from half and there's nobody there sometimes, so it can be a bit worrying when that happens, but luckily he found a team member.
It is a skill in itself, isn't it? Because you're often waiting for a teammate, and you've got to avoid getting touched. There's so much going on.
I know, it's a bit frantic when that all happens. There's bodies everywhere.
So Raptors with a fast start. What have Chester got? Can they come back in these early stages? They're on the attack now, but this is last touch. It goes out to the left wing, comes back into the middle, and a mishandle, and we have possession for the Raptors once more. You say the Raptors based in Exeter. It is touch rugby, but how much does having the Chiefs there contribute towards this Exeter team?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's kind of the core of the team, to be honest. I think that all these players have played together at uni probably and come up through the ranks together sort of thing. So having that kind of, I guess, bond and just understanding of how each other play really helps.
Because strong university links down there with Gloucester, and also the Bucks rugby as well. I remember being at Exeter for a Bucks local game.
Oh, yeah?
5,000 people, 5,000 students there. The atmosphere was incredible.
Yeah, it's a big sporting uni in general, so I think, these guys are a well-oiled machine.
Here they come again over the 7 metre.
Oh, that's a nice middle work there.
So a nice try. And Raptors starting to run away with this. Let's watch this again. Skipped through. And this time it was Will Tyrrell with the try. So, what would Chester be thinking now? Because less than a quarter of the game played, they're already 3 scores down.
Yeah, I mean, I think they just kind of have to settle a bit, and I mean, I think try and get proper platforms in attack here. It looks like they're trying to set something up. Let's see what they can manufacture.
Touch is made.
Yeah, so you really want to be getting a strike dump on that last touch to have a go at something, but unfortunately they're just kind of throwing it away there.
Yeah, they did seem to have made a couple of what I would say elaborate passes around the back, where probably just something more simple would have sufficed.
Yeah, I think just stick to your structures. Everyone kind of has a set of plays that they're kind of go-to. So I think they just need to slow it down a bit if needed and kind of get that strike dump and kind of clear go at the line. Oh, that was a nice pass.
Yeah, Exeter looking really strong now.
And finishing the wing. Nice. Oh, actually, they're calling a touch.
Yeah, I think maybe just went into touch. Oh, now a mishandle. The chance to go 4-0 is gone. So there's the replay. Let's just watch this again. Some great speed shown by Exeter.
Oh, I think, that diving effort there.
Just got the touch in. Yeah. It was Katia Bing. Just looking to go over in the corner, but I think one thing we have seen from the Raptors this morning is there's some great speed in that team.
Oh yeah, they would back themselves, I think, over a race for sure.
Here comes Chester. So look to try and find an answer to the Raptors' early dominance of this game.
Yeah, see again their last touch and they've kind of lost their momentum a bit. Oh, a pirouette, flick pass, bit of razzle dazzle.
Yeah. And you say this is probably the 3rd time we've seen something like that from Chester.
Ooh, a mishandle. This could be a good opportunity.
So now the opportunity with 6 touches.
Yeah, let's see what they can set up here.
Very deep into the Raptors zone.
They burned one then just while the rest of the team is coming on. Need to get the Raptors' defence moving a bit. They're very static at the moment.
Seem to be trying to decide what to do and not coming up with a stable plan. Oh. Down it goes. Now it comes wide. Here's the chance.
Oh, it's
just
a
touch.
Oh, I think they've been caught offside though. So they get a repeat set here. This is their best attacking chance by far.
A touch coming in from Sophia Barkham there. However, 6 more for Chester. Easily their best period of the game so far.
Yeah, these repeat sets on the line for Exeter would be a good test of their defence.
Oh, they are driving Chester back. Come over the 7 metres now, but again another touch.
Let's fall down.
And
so Exeter did well there.
Yeah, the Raptors' defence holding firm. So we're into the final 2 minutes of this first half.
Oh, over the mark. Another mistake coming off their line. So another good chance for Chester to get on top.
A little sloppy from the Raptors in the last 2 or 3 minutes or so, allowing Chester to retain possession deep in their half.
Yeah, that's the last thing you want coming off your line after defending 2 sets and then make another error and have to do it all over again. So let's see if Chester can take advantage here.
And it will give Chester confidence as well that they can force the Raptors into those mistakes to get that possession deep.
Oh, and we've got another penalty. A few more of these and we might see someone sent to the bin or something.
Not something we've seen so far over earlier today and yesterday. Certainly on this field anyway. I can't speak for the other fields. Now here's the chance. Oh, well played. That was a lovely fast passing.
Those great hands there to the wing.
Yeah, Darrow here putting the ball down. Let's have a look at this again. And it was just great, quick passing. And this is what they need to do more of.
Just over the defensive winger's head there. That should give them a lot of confidence, hopefully.
Yeah. Good time to score as well, as the hooter will be going in a few seconds to end the first half. The next touch will bring play to an end. However, it's still carrying on. And now that will be half-time. So, the Raptors leading 3-1 at half-time. However, Chester really dominating the play for the last 3 or 4 minutes or so.
Yeah, the last 5 minutes, I guess, of that half, it was all them and all their field position too. So they had some good chances at the line and luckily managed to get one off. So if they can start like that again in the second half, it should be a good game.
And what will the Chester coach be saying to them now? Because obviously they played so well towards the end of that half, getting the try that probably their possession play deserved at that time. Is it just going to be like more of the same, more of the same?
Yeah, I think like we've seen, they were kind of a bit frantic in their attack for the first sort of 10 minutes. Or well, it was in 10 minute half, isn't it? Only 5 minutes. But I think, yeah, they just need to kind of settle it a bit more, kind of stick to their structures. Kind of, yeah, if they have those repeat sets, like think through it strategically, you know, get them moving and condition the defence, and then hopefully they'll be able to get off some more tries.
The Raptors, we can see there in their huddle as they chat through their tactics for the second half, but they were threatening to run away with it at one stage early on. They went 3-0 up very quickly, and then they got pegged back a bit. So,
yeah.
You know,
I don't know if complacency maybe slipped in a little bit there, but I suppose, yeah, they started really strong and then maybe took their foot off the pedal. And, yeah, Chester came back strong. So, should be a good second half.
Yeah, so, the coach is just going through their final instructions as we await the second half. So, game 3 already. One thing I noticed from commentating yesterday is how quick the day seemed to go. It is a long day because you start in at 10, you're not finishing until about 6 o'clock in the evening. But how fast everything went.
Yeah, I think when it's short games like this as well, like 20-minute games, it just flies by. And you really have to like make the most of your time on the field because before you know it, it's half time and then full time. So yeah, when you're playing kind of one game off, then rest, and then back again, yeah, the day goes really quick.
And obviously with the day like today, with it's quite nice. It's clouded over a little bit now, but the sun's coming in and out. I can imagine it's quite warm down there on that field.
It is warm, yeah, particularly on this pitch. I don't know, the heat was sort of rising from the grass. So, yeah, no, I think people are going to have to make sure they keep hydrated throughout.
So, officials coming back onto the pitch as we await the start of the second half. 10 minutes to go. So 3-1, the Raptors lead. Teams just coming back onto the field to play now.
Chester will have the tap off here, so let's see if they can start as well as they finish the first half.
So away we go.
I think he's just dropped it there, unfortunately. Might have jinxed them there.
Yeah, that was not the start they wanted to the second half. It's turned over possession to the Raptors straight away. And using their speed, they're almost at the 7-metre line already. Just stuck in two minds of where to put the ball there. Now over 7 metres, it comes out wide to the right. Oh, nice take, but good touch.
There. Oh, I think she's just snuck in the corner.
Down in the corner. And yes, it is given. We'll see that again on the replay, but Ellie Yard putting the ball down.
That was quick thinking here by the link, Emily Bayliss.
Ellie Yard who started it and then got the ball back, popped it down. Just before Darrow here could get the touch in. So, Raptors starting the second half similar to how they started the first. They are 4-1 ahead. Now Chester, who were playing very, very well towards the end of that first half. Unfortunate error gave Raptors possession, which allowed them to come and score the fourth try. And A handling error once again gives Raptors possession, so not the start to the second half that Chester would have wanted.
No, unfortunately, yeah, there's been a few errors in there, but if they can keep their composure and kind of get a string of passes together, hopefully they can get it back. That's a good run up there in the middle.
And here come the Raptors once again.
Oh,
and this
ball.
Plays over.
What's he done?
What was he doing?
He was over the line practically if he just kept going. He's done it through the leg pass.
I'm at a loss as to why
I'm not quite
did
sure.
that.
The Raptors looking at us.
Let's have a look at this again, because all he's got to do is put the ball over.
He obviously didn't realise how close he was to the line, I think, but tried to do the miracle pass through the legs, which I give him props for, but it was unnecessary.
You can see his teammate there with his arm out straight, as if to say, "What are you doing?" It's, wow.
Oh dear, I'm sure he'll get fined for that at the end of the day, that's for sure.
As Chester's attack breaks down once again, gives possession back to the Raptors. Fresh legs coming on. Nice fake.
Oh, here we go.
And nice speed. Oh, his touch comes in. Horatio Price looking to get away there. Was just
very nimble.
Yeah, was just about to turn the burners on, I think. A touch on the shoulder just stopped him in his tracks. And here he is again. And now there's a player over. Oh, nice fake.
It's a good run there.
And the try is given. Yep. Alec Pizzo again. Let's have a look at this again. Pizzo using his speed and just fakes and turns. Great footwork.
Yeah, he manages to keep the winger out there, just guessing long enough before she comes in to make the touch, but luckily got it down in time.
So Raptors 4 points ahead, 5-1. And Chester, who have not really got going in this second half, I think it's fair to say.
They've just looked a bit lost. Like, I think a lot of the time they're running away from their dummy half or they're not getting the kind of clean ball they want, so a little bit disappointing. But
yeah. They were moving so well at the end of the first half, and it appears to they just look a bit static now.
Yeah, it's a bit disjointed, like you say.
However, here they come.
Oh,
as close
might
as
have
they
slipped
got.
under.
Just the touch coming in. I think it was Alec Pizzo working at both ends of the field, getting the touch in for Raptors.
Well, it's a lucky escape again. There.
Fakes. And Raptors, one thing they've been really good at this game is getting forward very, very quickly.
Yeah, no, they've done well. They've made a lot of yards and got themselves in a great attacking position. His last touch here. What can they do? Oh, and good ball.
Nice play. Let's watch this one again.
Just draws and passes here. And great link hole there from Sophia.
Yep, Sophia Barkham putting the ball down. 6-1, the Raptors lead. And after threatening to run away with it early in the first half, they have run away with it in the second. Do you think maybe that the way that Chester came back at the end of the first half maybe shocked them a bit?
Yeah, it probably kind of gave them a kick up the arse, shall we say, and made them realise they can't take their foot off the pedal, so you need to keep the pressure on.
So Chester getting deep, but just too many players crowding around. Salasi Tunio just had 3 players around him. It would have taken something extra special to get the ball down in that situation.
Very crowded, I think. Unfortunately, they were all running into the same hole there.
Once again, it's Raptors coming forward with great speed and gaining that 7-metre line so easily.
I think they've just gone over the mark here, unfortunately.
So possession returns to Chester.
It's hard when you're going at such speed to get the ball down as soon as you're touched, but yeah, unfortunately they just went a bit too far off the mark. Oh, The Chester player's gone straight through here.
It's a nice fake, but that's
Oh,
giving them
he's
some
down.
good possession.
Yeah, this is good field position for them if they can keep it going. Good defense.
Just need some support, but yeah, like you say, good defense there. And now that's after that burst, it has given the Raptors the chance to reset defensively. Touch comes in. Oh, just
good
well
hands.
taken. That was a difficult take.
Nikki Wise using her netball career, I think, there to good use.
Touch in the corner. That will give Raptors possession once again, and we'll see how quickly they can get up the field. And they'll look to get fresh legs on and do. Using the sub box well as they come over halfway. There's Pizzo again.
Nice ball.
Gets it back to Horatio Price, but there was a touch.
Good scramble in the middle there from Chester.
Just over 2 minutes remaining in the game. It's going to be a comfortable victory for the Raptors, but Chester, who we saw play so well towards the end of the first half, I'm sure will be trying to do the same in this, but turn the ball over once again. Just gain the Raptors.
He's got a good
Through.
step there.
Yes.
Two-step coming.
Horatio Price.
Sending a sweeper here.
Pizzo back to Price. They're working very well together, those two.
Yeah, they seem to have a good pairing going on.
There is Chester with possession. A lot of work to do.
Good drive up the middle here.
They're over halfway. Probably the most fluent we've seen Chester in all this second half.
Yeah, oh, through again. Oh, that lucky.
Just not finding the mark with the pass, and Raptors have possession as we're into the final minute of the game.
Oh, here we go.
And through the middle once again. Goes down. Can Raptors finish it off with a flourish? Not with that pass, unfortunately, but at 6-1, it probably doesn't matter as much. It will come back a little bit.
They're going to get the ball here.
Yeah.
6 again, I think.
Around 20 seconds remaining. So they will have to be quick if they want to add to their score.
Can they get one more?
Good defence by Chester so far. And there goes the hooter.
Might be a quick tap.
So, final play. Goes this way and that. Oh, but he nearly came off for James Marsh.
Nearly a miracle ball to the wing there, but just managed to save it.
However, that is the end of the game, and it's a 6-1 victory for the Raptors over the Chester Cheetahs. We will look at the highlights of the game. It was such a quick start by the Raptors. Alex Pizzo going over there for the first try. And the white tide kept coming. There was try number 2. And very soon it was 3-0.
Yeah, they worked hard for each other here in the middle, the boys.
Diving through. So that was 3-0. Then Chester came back into it in the
This was a great passage of play.
Yeah, second half of the first half with a lot of possession. However, the Raptors came out for the second half, and I think it's fair to say thoroughly dominated the second period.
Yeah. No, they lifted it into another gear, I think, in the second half.
It's Pizzo again, just faking the pass to the wing and then going through himself. this was the final try. So 6-1 to the Exeter Raptors against the Chester Cheetahs. Naomi, it's been a pleasure to have your company for this game. Thank you for coming on co-commentary, and the best of luck for the rest of the day.
Thank you.
And thank you very much to you for watching. We have next the Nottingham Hoods against Revolution in a Pool Life clash. Join us for that very shortly.
Well, first and foremost is we want to give everybody a game, so we are an inclusive club, and we will search out opportunities where everybody who wants to play representative touch for the club can do. So that comes from those down to, I think our youngest player has been 11 this last season, up to, dare I say, Hobbo, I think he's 57 now. And that's what we are about, we're an inclusive club. But within that, we also want to be a club that wants to get better, wants to improve, wants to win things. And for us, trying to grow the top level of our club and getting better and growing our performances is also just as important.
No, it's good. Just shows how touch can be played by everyone.
Yeah.
I think it's a good selling point for the sporters in general.
Yeah, because I can learn more from him than other people because he knows what I'm like.
It's a facility for all ages to play touch rugby. As you can see with our training, that we've got kids from sort of 9 and 10 up to me, who's quite old, over 50.
Representing Nottingham with England is great because the Euros were held here as well, so we had a really good support as well for my first Euros campaign.
It's been a part of our strategy, part of our plan, and we see the future. We want to get better as a club. To do that, we need to bring youth in to shift as oldies further down the line. I think it's also the fact that as some of the older players bring their families down, children, there's 3 or 4 of us here tonight with children, the strategy's also been really targeting schools, junior clubs around here. The summer league that runs each year now gets 100 plus under 15s in.
Well, we did something at school for it and then we enjoyed it, so we decided to carry on.
We have a coaching setup here, I think, of 16 level 1, sort of at the intermediate level coaches.
What a good defender is going to do is come out and just run straight at them if they're going to front you up and they're going to stop you. If he just comes straight at me, we get underneath him, slow down the roll ball, he's either going to turn the ball over, drop it, or the ball's going to be slowed down so that the half can't get in. And in addition to that, we've probably got another half dozen who are in the England frame who help out, and you'll see that tonight. Everybody's prepared to put their hand up and help, so it's not just about taking from the club, it's about giving back, which is fantastic. You'll see the mixing between adults and juniors, and for me, from a junior perspective, that's one of the key things that we've done, is rather than separating out junior training every week, we try and mix it in where we can. And what you see from the juniors particularly is just they're growing in confidence and having to deal with players that are probably much more their senior in age and experience, and that's great for their own personal development as well as their physical development.
Help us learn new skills and improve during the game.
Everyone gets integrated together, all different levels, lots of coaching advice.
And it's just a great spirit down here. That's why I like coming down. We have a laugh, although we take training seriously. There's always somebody to have a laugh and a chuckle with and enjoy it.
I think for me, probably I would focus the game on getting as many children coming down over the summer as you can. From a point of view of growing the sport, bringing as many children down with their parents and getting an all-inclusive, fun environment that anybody can have a go in. And focus on that, of building the baseline of as many players as you can. Don't worry about trying to go through the ranks and put the best team out there. I think build from the base upwards, which is how we started 5, 6, 7 years ago. And as a result of that, we're slowly chipping away at getting up the ranks.
This is Nottingham.
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 Welcome back to Banbury as we go for game 4 already of the morning, and that will be the Nottingham Hoods taking on Revolution. And joining me on co-commentary for this game is David Chalice, who is one of the coaching team of the Raptors, who were just seen with a great 6-1 victory over the Chester Cheetahs in the previous game, and it was such a good victory that.
Yeah, a really good start to the day. 2 wins out of 2. Yeah, very happy with where we're going. Just trying to build slowly throughout the day. Felt we dropped off a little bit in the second half, but got to keep building, and that's the main thing. But yeah, all in all, very happy, and yeah, looking forward to this one.
Now that's interesting you say that, because we were saying on commentary how we thought you picked it up again in the second half after probably the sort of latter stages of the first half. Chester seemed to come back into it and got that try, but yeah, three scores in the second half to Chester's none. We felt it showed your dominance somewhat.
Yeah, that is probably true. I think we actually started the second half well. It was maybe just that last sort of 5 minutes that kind of lingers in your head that made us feel we had dropped off a little bit. But yeah, all in all, happy, and I think just trying to take as many learnings as we can, and probably being a bit overcritical at points.
So this one is underway. Nottingham, with a good start from them. That is Nottingham playing from left to right, and it is the Revolution playing from right to left. Both in sort of a black and green strip, so this could get confusing.
Yeah, it could be an interesting one for us to work out where people are, but we'll do our best.
Pass over to the left wing is just a little too high, as Nottingham look to take an early lead here. The Hoods from Nottingham taking 6th place in round 1, getting to the cup section. Revolution were 19th in round 1, so on that basis you would expect Nottingham to be favourites, but it doesn't always work that way, does it?
No, exactly. Past form can always be a bit of a funny thing, but yeah, Nottingham are a good side. You'd expect them to hopefully get on top in this one, but who knows, it could always turn the other way in this game.
Revolution turning over. That allows Nottingham with another set of 6, and they use their sub-box. Fresh legs on. And play just slows down a little as it comes through the middle. Down again, now gaining the 7 metre. This is the chance for Nottingham to take the lead. Dive through. And yes, I think that's going to be given. That's a great try.
Yeah, lovely score.
Liam Harpenny.
Yeah, lovely score from Nottingham. Just slowed it down there on the 5 metre line. Tried to set themselves up as we see it here. Looking to come round on the sweep, pick up, get it away. And then if you just see there that Revolution get too far back over their line, so then they can dive for the line, and gets over there nicely. So yeah, good score, but yeah, Revolution may be slightly disappointed with the way they've let that one in.
Yeah, we've seen so many tries scored that way, especially yesterday as well in the development sessions, where they just got that extra little bit of time, it seems, to dive through the middle before the touch comes in. However, here come Revolution. Can they do the same again? No, they've opted to go out to the left. Unlucky. It's Nottingham who retain possession. However, they are very deep in their own half. In fact, they've given it away. So here is the opportunity for Revolution with a set of 6 just outside the 7 metre.
Yeah, this will be a really important point for Revolution. They've got a 6 on the line early in the game. Just one back. If they can get one here, they'll really feel they're right in this one. Looking for a quickie on the right.
Looking to work it. It's just a touch there that prevents Theo Edwards going through. Now to the middle, and that's not a great pass.
Not a great pass, but offside I think that was, so there'll be a penalty to Revolution here and they'll get another go. These are really key points in the game when you can build a couple of sets of 6 on the line, build pressure, but you really got to make sure you come away with something here, otherwise it can be a big boost to the opposition.
Now here come Revolution, just looking for that space, now working it towards the right wing, but good defence by Nottingham.
Yeah, just getting a little bit cramped on that right-hand side. The Revolution need to try and use the whole pitch as much as they can and take the touches more central so they can work a bit more space, but it's a good setup generally.
Chance still not gone for Revolution, but a handling error, and that will give Nottingham possession. 4 minutes gone. Nottingham leading 1-0.
Probably going to look to set up for a scoop here if they go for a mid dump. Yep, here they go.
So over the 7 metre, and is that down in time?
No, not quite.
this. I think we've seen a difference in speed here. Nottingham very, very quick at gaining territory and getting towards that 7 metre line, which we've perhaps not seen from Revolution so far.
Yeah, 100%, and that will likely kind of pay off for them as the game goes on. If they're more kind of doing better, getting down the pitch quicker, it's going to tire Revolution out, and Nottingham are going to feel they're on top for a long periods of the game, and that should translate into tries later on. But we've got to get them at some point.
Down it goes again from Revolution. So this is a chance now. They're using the width a bit better now. Is that a try? No, it was just touched. Unlucky.
Yeah, it's a really good touch out there. They look like very threatening, their Revolution. They've done well, Nottingham, to keep them out. But here come Nottingham again.
Yeah, Nottingham been good at getting deep. However, they held up at the halfway line, and handling error will pass possession back over to Revolution. And another handling error gives it straight back again.
Revolution will be really upset with that, I think. Nottingham, as we say, have been doing really well to gain territory quickly, and they've just give Revolution a chance, but Revolution have given it straight back up again.
So, weather conditions just changing slightly, getting cloudier, probably a chance of being more humid. It was beautiful sunshine this morning when we started, and that appears to have gone for the moment.
Yeah.
Mind you, I'm sure the players will probably be quite happy with that.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think most people were probably complaining an hour ago that it was too hot. Now they're probably a little bit happier, but certainly won't want the rain to come, I don't think.
No, I think we saw that yesterday. For those who were watching yesterday, we had rain for probably the first 30 minutes to an hour of the development series, and there was a lot of handling errors. There's a lot of moisture on the ball. Improved as the day went on and things dried up, but you will not be wanting rain.
No, definitely not. I think it could even be even worse. I think if people are used to playing in the dry, hot stuff and then the rain comes, it can really throw people quite quickly. So I think, we'll hope that stays away.
Here come Nottingham again. Over halfway. Probably not the smoothest use of the sub box there.
No, not their cleanest set so far, but they've still got good territory. They still have a chance here. To set something up on a sweep here.
There we go. Oh, nice defence.
Yeah, it's good D there. They had an overlap, Nottingham, and Revolution have done well to shut it down, but have given away another set of 6.
So, still 1-0. Nottingham lead. Do you think Nottingham will be disappointed with the possession and drives that they had to just only be one ahead? In fact, that's...
Yeah, I think so. I think they'll feel they've definitely had the better of this game so far, but then in terms of kind of clear-cut chances and real long sustained periods of pressure, they probably haven't quite made what they want of it, but here's probably their time. They're going to really want to score here, and
yes they have. Yeah, and I think that one was welcomed by the reaction at the end of it.
And you can see here it's just a really nice sweep down the other side. Revolution's probably just a little bit tired after a long sets on their line, a couple of sets down there. That's when you can really build the pressure and make it count. So Nottingham will be very happy with that and probably feel it was coming to a certain extent, but Revolution's still very much in this one.
Liam Halpenny again. So 2-0 Nottingham lead. There's around 90 seconds remaining in this second half. First half. I'm getting so many games this morning, I'm getting mixed up. It is the first half, I can assure you. Revolution look to reduce the arrears before we get to half-time. Nice touch there, though, as Simon Mallard was looking to burst through. Nottingham again quickly getting it forward over halfway, but have given up possession. So is this the chance for Revolution to get something on the board before half-time?
Yeah, about 45 seconds left. They'll definitely have a chance for a good set of 6 here, so they'll be really hoping they can get one back before half-time. If they can, they'll definitely go into half-time thinking they've done well.
Ball goes down. 30 seconds left as they gain more and more territory. Just being held up outside the 7-metre line now. Possession turns over, so that should see Nottingham comfortably 2-0 ahead at least when the hooter goes. The next 5 or 6 seconds or so. There it is.
That'll be it.
Another touch comes in, so that will be half-time. And Nottingham lead 2-0, and I think on the balance of play, I think that's fair enough.
Yeah, probably a fair reflection of the half. I think Nottingham have definitely had the kind of lion's share of possession and territory, but they'll feel just a few execution errors have maybe let them down. Same for Revolutions as well. I think accuracy's probably got to be the key theme for the half-time chats here. Both sides can just be a bit more accurate. Hopefully we'll see a few more tries as the game opens up in the final 10 minutes.
Very few clear-cut chances there for Revolution. What do you think the coaches are going to be saying to them?
Yeah, I think just need to be a bit more clinical and a bit more accurate when they get down there. They've actually had quite a long time down there with a few of Nottingham's mistakes handing them possession, and few odd times when they've been without a half or just haven't been kind of had enough intent with what they're looking to do on the line. I think they just need to be a bit clearer with what they're trying to do and run what they're trying to run with a bit more intent, and hopefully that'll translate to some tries for them. But yeah, Nottingham are a good side, and defensively they're strong, so it's easier said than done.
What are Revolution going to have to do to sort of combat the speed that Nottingham seem to gain territory? They have gained territory very, very quickly and got deep very quickly, even when they've been starting their set of 6 from probably their own 7-metre line.
Yeah, I think that sometimes comes down to a bit of a mindset thing when you've just given away the ball on the opposition line, and you turn into D. Being able to transition into your defensive set really quickly is important, and then get off the line off the first couple of touches and really try and stunt that attack early. Revolutions haven't really been able to do that, and because Nottingham have been playing at such pace, they've managed to catch them off guard, and then once you get a side rolling back, it's really hard to recover. So that's going to have to be a focus for Revolution, is try and shut down those attacks earlier on in the sets rather than letting them develop.
Is there anything you think that Nottingham need to improve on for the second half?
No, I think they look generally quite good. I think for them it is just execution. We've seen a few of them, a few drop balls on the halfway and kind of sets of 6. They haven't quite finished off on the Revolution line. I think for them it will just be a case of accuracy and making sure they're clinical when they get down there. But I think all in all they'll be fairly happy, and hope this stuff just builds throughout the day. Often first couple of games it can be difficult accuracy-wise, just to different combinations, all that sort of stuff, trying to get that going better. But I think they'll hopefully grow into this game, I would imagine.
Just talk for a second about your own Raptors. You took 2 out of 2 so far this morning. Are you going to be looking to go deep into that cup competition this afternoon?
Yeah, that's the hope. Obviously one more really important game after this in the group to kind of secure that cup quarter-final, and then that's probably the big one for us. We've in previous years struggled to get to those cup semis and go deep in that tournament. We've often quarterfinals has been our stumbling block, so that's going to be the real kind of target game for us, hopefully after getting through the next one. And for us, I think we look like we're slowly building. First game was a bit rusty, second game was better, and we're hopefully just building through the day and knowing that we've kind of got some big games to come, and we need to be on it for them. But it's a big day for us. Hopefully, we're looking to build this year and looking to really get it going.
Okay, well, there's the hooter. We'll get back to this game. Nottingham against Revolution. Nottingham leading 2-0 as Revolution get the second half underway. Again, they just seem to be struggling to really penetrate those deep areas past the 7-metre line. They're coming over now, but running out of touches.
Yeah, I mean, probably credit has got to go to Nottingham's defence to a certain extent here. Obviously, there's definitely more that Revolution will feel they can be doing here. Just being a little bit more, just having a little bit more pace and a little bit more intent with their attack, and even if it doesn't come off, running stuff at pace can often be a really good thing, just because it shows the opposition some pictures that maybe they don't want to see. But yeah, not got a lot of credit for the Nottingham defence here, because they are shutting down the attacks really nicely. But here they come again on the attack, and again they're making good yards on the first 2 touches, which is going to make it very difficult for Revolutions to recover.
And again, it is Nottingham, and you can see the difference there at how quickly Nottingham are getting forward and getting territory.
Yeah, and it's massively important. If anything, just from a mindset point of view, if you're playing a lot of the game in your own half, or as the attacking team playing a lot of game in the opposition half, you do just feel that you're on top, and as the kind of defensive side that you're always struggling a little bit. So It should, I would imagine this will translate into some scores from Nottingham at some point, but again, they need to have that accuracy when they get into that final third and that past the 7 metre line, which they are just struggling to come with a little bit of fluency for.
I suppose if there is one thing you could criticise Nottingham for, is that their handling has probably not been spot on as it should be when they get into those deep areas.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, sometimes it can come as a bit of a sacrifice when you're playing at that pace, that sometimes the handling, the accuracy does come second, but it has got to be there to score. So maybe they will just look, if they are making the yards slightly easy, they can step off the gas and then just focus on being accurate when they get down there.
Now the burners are on. And once again, Nottingham getting deep into the Revolution zone. Was that a mishandle, or was it tapped out of his grasp?
Yeah.
It's
play on.
It's still Nottingham's ball. Quick passing. Now here's the chance. Touch is claimed, touch is given.
Yeah, Nottingham really look to run the sweepers there, trying to create space that way.
And another touch again, so
that'll be 6.
Yeah. And in the end, good last-ditch defence from Revolution.
Yeah,
there.
really good defence on the line there. They did well. They didn't look under too much stress for most of that. But again here, they've lost it. But even then, that was their second touch, and they barely made it out of their 7. They really need to work on getting out of their own try line and getting up the field quicker.
So Nottingham with a set of 6 just outside the 7. This will be a really good opportunity to go 3-0 ahead, and I think they do. They do indeed.
That's a really good score.
Yeah. Didn't take long from that set of 6. Let's watch this again. A quick passing.
Again, just looking for that sweeper, and this time they've got the link coming in on a really hard chopping line, which is really important, that the off-the-ball work of the players not on the ball there. All the other 5 players can make a massive impact in finding space rather than just running straight lines and being a bit more passive with their running, and that's what's created that try there. It's really well done.
The quick hands from Emily Simon setting up Jacob Whitehead, and it's 3-0 to the Nottingham Hoods. How about Revolution? Now, is that there? No, there was a touch.
Another touch.
Yeah, good chance there, and probably the most positive and attacking we've seen from Revolution.
Yeah, seems to be coming with a bit more pace here, a bit more intent, but yeah, they just can't seem to find that space. It's really well done from Nottingham. They are defending exceptionally well here, and looks like sides are going to really struggle to break them down.
And Nottingham once again still not over halfway, so Revolution probably learning a little bit as the game goes on.
Yeah, definitely. I think you see what we spoke about at half-time about working hard on those first couple of touches to really stump the attack, and that's what happened there. It made their subbing transition a bit messy, a bit scrappy, and it's turned in a turnover, which is really what you want from that situation as the defensive side. But now they need to make something of it.
Here we go again. Revolution still not getting the 7 metre. They might do now. It's good passing. Oh, just broken down at the end. And it was starting to look really promising for them there.
Yeah, they're starting to get a sort of longer periods of time in the Nottingham Hoods half and exact a bit more pressure on them. But again, it is just that, it's one of the hardest things in the game is being accurate on the line and breaking teams down, especially when you've got a strong defence against you. But there's certainly more positive signs there. They're certainly growing into this one.
However, it is Nottingham who again go very deep into Revolution territory, or just a mishandle there. It was a great chance there for Liam Harpenny to get his hat-trick, just couldn't quite take the ball.
Yeah, really nice hands there from Notts, created some good space down there, and again playing at pace, but just couldn't find the finishing touches.
Revolution go again. Wind seems to be getting up as well, so that's an extra factor that they have to pay in.
Yeah, certainly, especially when you're on the line and looking for those long passes, it can be a real factor.
Seems to be coming from right to left rather than across the pitch, so that is probably going to help Nottingham.
Yeah. Possibly, although you then can't do have the issue with passes drifting forward on the line, so it's
Yeah.
always something that's got to be taken into account, especially when it picks up and is a bit swirling. Oh, that's excellent stuff.
Oh, great play by Liam Harpenny, and he does have his hat-trick. It's 4-0 Nottingham. Let's watch this again.
Yeah, as we look here, they've just switched back to the short side, given him a one-on-one and so much space there, and he's going to be really tough to stop there when you have got so much space off on that side, and it's just a two-on-two defensive situation there. Yeah, really well worked from Nottingham.
Is that just a case of just more experience and more skill, just to stop, fool the defender into stumbling and then just giving you the space to go over?
Yeah, I think so, and I think it's just a bit of that calmness on the line. A lot of teams, especially when there's maybe a bit less experience, can panic a little bit in those situations, but you see Nottingham there have just really kept their calm and then found that space and worked them out.
Chance there for Revolution, a touch just as I was going over the line, but the ball going forward. Nottingham have possession once again. And again, you just see the speed that they are able to get forward.
Yeah, as you say, it is just in that first couple of touches, their transition into attack is excellent, and it pays off. Again here, a little bit scrappy on the right-hand side now, but they've still already gained that territory, and now they can inject the pace into it here.
Halfpenny again.
Yeah.
Going through. And that is his 4th try. Nottingham's 5 tries now. And Nottingham starting to run away with it, and perhaps fair enough considering the territory and possession that they've had.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, even in these short games, the sort of tired legs can come into it in the last sort of 5 or 6 minutes, especially when you've been under so much pressure and have struggled territory-wise and possession-wise. But yeah, here, I think you can kind of see that here. It's just that bit of extra energy in the Nottingham side, and they're able just to sneak down that left-hand side and find the space.
So can Revolution find something before the end of this game? Amazingly, we're already into the final 90 seconds, which something I was saying before previous to games is how quick everything seems to go.
Yeah, 20-minute games. I think previously in these tournaments we have played 40-minute games, which tend to be a bit more kind of almost a bit like a chess game. There's a bit more of working out of the opposition, and the game can be played at a slightly slower pace. But in a 20-minute game, you've just got no time to breathe, no time to even think about things, and you've just got to go hard the whole way through. And as you say, in 10-minute halves, you look up and suddenly there's only 2 minutes on the clock.
Oh. Here come Nottingham once again. Can they finish with a final flourish? Unfortunately not. There it's a mishandle, so that will give possession back to Revolution. They're going to have about 40 seconds or so to get down the field to try and get a consolation try.
Yeah, it'd be nice to see them get something out of this game. I think they've probably been better than be nilled, but again, it's just the pace here in these first few touches. They just seem to really struggle to get out of their own half. And yeah, here a bit of miscommunication is going to really put them under some pressure as we head into the final few seconds.
So, is this Revolution's opportunity to get on the board? Unfortunately not. There is a mishandle, so Nottingham will have possession once again, and that will be that. And there goes the hooter, in fact, and it is a 5-0 victory for the Nottingham Hoods over Revolution. I think in the end, quite comfortable for the Nottingham Hoods.
Yeah, they never really looked under too much pressure in that game. Revolution had some periods of pressure, but just couldn't really turn it into scores or meaningful scores on the scoreboard, which is ultimately what you need to do. But yeah, they controlled that game nicely, and yeah, they'll be fairly happy with that performance, I think.
There was the first try, the first for Liam Harpenny. He scored 4 for Nottingham, so quite an important player for them.
Yeah, he seems to be one of their strike runners, one of the guys they really want to get on the ball. Potentially, if there are other teams looking at that might be an area to target, is know that he's one of their danger threats and really keep an eye on him. But he looked so good in that game, I'm not sure too many
this
teams
one
where
he just stopped and then went again.
Yeah, it just stands the defender up really well and then goes again, and in that sort of space it's going to be really hard to stop, and yeah, he looked really good there, I think. Yeah, it's a great game for him. He'll be very happy he's managed to do that on the live stream.
Yeah. So 5-0 for the Nottingham Hoods. David, I want to say thank you very much for joining us on co-commentary. Thanks for your insight into the game, and good luck for the Raptors for the rest of the tournament.
Thanks for having me. Really enjoyed it.
Thank you. So that's it for this game. Join us very, very shortly as we'll have Game 5 of the morning, the Pool A clash between the 2019 winners, the Bareback Riders. They're taking on the Norwich Rebels. Join us for that soon.
First of all, you've got to be incredibly passionate about the sport and put a lot of time and effort in to raise awareness and create enthusiasm and a buzz around your touch club. Number two, it has to be fun. You get, one chance to make a first impression, and when people come, they've got to feel that they're having a good time, and it's all inclusive. And the third thing now, I would say, is you've always got to be promoting, and you've definitely got to look at social media. We are exploring Facebook ads, and we're promoting like mad all the time.
Get as many people involved as possible, give them the opportunity to play, and give them the opportunity to enjoy it. We started out and it was just all about having fun to begin with, and once been playing for a year or so, that's when we really decided to take things on to the next level.
I think it's just having patience. It's not going to come overnight. If you can keep your senior players engaged, as well as constantly looking to the development and introduce new players, because you're always going to get players who leave for one reason or another. Having that conveyor belt of talent to come through is really helpful. You just got to work hard, and it will pay off in time.
From a point of view of growing the sport, bringing as many children down with their parents and getting an all-inclusive, fun environment that anybody can have a go in, and focus on that, of building the baseline of as many players as you can. Don't worry about trying to go through the ranks and put the best team out there. I think build from the base upwards.
So I'd say to keep your competitive side and your social side, don't go too much down one avenue of having solely one or solely the other. With the social side, your performance side always sort of flourishes with this, and also vice versa. It's always good to have the competitive side and part of it knowledge on your social side.
Keep the player base interested. It's not all about, right, I want us to get from A to B, and we're going to do it with these steps. We're going to coach this and then this and then that. Keep it a bit fluid. Like, you don't always have to start off with loads and loads of drills to get people into playing touch. I mean, you can just play rugby, netball, something simple. Just get people used to handling a rugby ball. Not everybody has come into this sport playing lots of rugby. They may not have the same hand-eye coordination that others have. Just get everyone onto a level with some more casual games.
Hello and welcome back to Banbury, and we have our next game lined up. It's the Bareback Riders taking on the Norwich Rebels, our fifth game of the morning. And joining me on co-commentary is Dan Powell of the Nottingham Hoods, who've just been victorious against Revolution. A great 5-0 victory there. But Dan, you're also the England senior mixed head coach, so you know indeed a few of the players who are going to play in this game.
There's a couple, yeah. I'm just trying to do a bit of a recce up. I've got James Stewart, Stewie, and that's it actually.
So a 5-0 victory for the Hoods in the last game. You must have been delighted with that, because I think we were saying on commentary then it was just seemed to be really good game management by the Hoods there.
Yeah, I think so. We got off to a bit of a frantic start, trying to run a little bit hard, trying to do a little bit too much. But once we settled into the game, felt like we went through our processes really well, and 5-0 is probably it's a good result. Yeah. With the way the tournament's structured, every score in the group stages counts. So we're happy to take away 5 scores and really going through the gears ahead of our next game against Galaxy.
So again, we have a bit of a colour clash. It seems to be a theme of the morning with teams of the same colours.
Certainly is.
Norwich are playing from right to left. They're in the black with the red round the middle, and Bareback with the sort of black and red. More red than black, really. So hopefully we'll be able to tell them apart.
We'll try, yeah.
We'll certainly do our best.
This looks like some new kit for Norwich. It's it's quite smart, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. It is a smart kit.
BBR in their traditional tartan. It's not changed in a while.
So just a few seconds away from the start. Just waiting for the hooter to go. Midday already. It really goes quick. These.
Yeah, tell me about it. It's brutal. The lack of rest between games. When I started playing touch, it was fine. There was no problem whatsoever. But now I'm a little bit older. find getting up for the next games, particularly in the afternoon, to be a bit of a challenge. But we make it work.
Sun comes out once again as we start this game, and it's Norwich who are on the attack straight away from the tap off. And they're 7 metres already. And just a mishandle there on the line. That will give the Bareback Riders possession in round one. Bareback finishing 13th, which was probably a surprise considering they won the competition overall in 2019.
Yeah, it was a bit of a surprise, a bit of a shock. I think coming into the tournament as one of the favourites, if not the favourite, and couldn't make it work. They had a tough group in the last round, and didn't win the games that they should have won. So I know that they were disappointed to not win the games. But BBR are a team that don't train together a lot, as opposed to some of the other teams that are here that train week in, week out. They're a fairly transient bunch and from all over the place. So yeah, I think the lack of a 2020 season is probably one of the big causes of some of their ring rust. Yeah.
Now the Norwich Rebels, they finished on 24th, unfortunately last position in round one. So on that basis, you would expect BBR to be strong favourites for this game.
Yeah, you would expect so. Norwich are a team that's new to the elite NTS setup. They've I think this is the last time was their first time out. They've got some good players and some good infrastructure. I know some of their coaches from my work with Midlands. So I'm sure they'll be on to bigger and better things, and will become a mainstay of the elite NTS. But I think that it can be a fairly big step up, and I guess they found that at the last one.
Yeah. Miriam Evans there getting the ball down, but the pass was forward, unfortunately, and still 0-0. So I think Norwich will be happy with the start they've made so far in the first couple of minutes.
Yeah, I think so. That's a painful turnover to give away there. Stewie there losing the ball as they were driving out the pitch, and those turnovers when you've got the ball in your own half are the ones that tend to kill you, because you're going to give BBR a fresh set of six to attack their line. You're going to give them what they want, and that's one of the big objectives of the game is keeping the attacking team away from your line. So and it looks like BBR made them pay.
Yeah, James Tweedy going over there, and good play along the line. You see Tweedy starting the move, and then the pass coming back to him, and it was just a simple step over and down. So BBR do take the lead in this one. Norwich start again.
Again, another sloppy turnover of the ball there. Again, Sewell just losing the ball in the mark against Clark Hobson, a very very experienced member of the England men's open side.
Yeah, again Sewell, who played yesterday as well, was featured on this pitch. And now that goes out. Oh, just a mishandle. Suzanne Brownie just couldn't quite take it with her. It was an easy put down if she'd have got hold of it. As you can probably hear from our microphones, the wind's starting to get up a little bit now.
Yeah, I think Norwich are finding these yards quite hard here. They've just electing to go to a 3-man drive up the wing, which can be quite effective, but it's a little bit easy to read at times, and BBR making it hard for them. Got a fresh set 6 now, and let's see what Norwich can do with the ball.
Like you say here, that Norwich are new to this level. BBR, as we know, very experienced at this level. That's always going to play a factor, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so. I think just it's just that experience that can be the difference, especially when it. I think the difference in long games and over the course of a full day, you might pull out a good game or a few decent scores, but what BBR have is international experience in abundance, and as you see here, they're just keeping the ball up, getting nice easy yards. Norwich are rolling, and we'll see what they can do on 5th.
So BBR again gaining territory quite easily, and that looks like it is try number 2. Indeed it is.
Just a nice easy 33 scoop there.
I'll have a look at this one again on the replay. Just putting the ball down. Let's see if we can see that again. It's Norwich who are about to kick off. Here we go. So it's just nicely played back there. Michael putting the ball down.
So that's just another simple one from Norwich there. I think again just about experience when the ball's gone through that channel there. The defence needed to mark their men, and the Norwich player didn't follow the scorer, and it's a nice easy one.
I think one thing that Norwich will probably take heart from is they have managed to get into the 7 metres a few times, and
they look handy moving forward. They're certainly organised, and BBR are they're not making it easy for them. One thing that BBR are doing a good job of at the moment is sucking away from the 7 metre line, so that the touches for Norwich are either sort of 8, 9, 10 metres out, which is quite easy to defend as a defensive unit, but or the defensive player is sucking out so that they're sort of 1-2 metres off the line, and that's making it difficult for Norwich to get the setup that they want.
It is Norwich who have possession, but they are deep in their own half. Running into a bit of a cul-de-sac there as they get fresh legs on.
Yeah, good yards there by Stewart. Bailed the team out a little bit, and now we're moving forward for, is this going to be 5th? No, 6th.
And
it's really hard yards here for Norwich. You really don't want to be making a strike dump in your own half. It makes it very difficult. And then the punishment you get for it is that BBR are now on their into a tap off play situation where they're approaching 3rd touch and they're going to be able to set up a strike on the line.
So
this is
into the 7 metre. Space out on the left-hand side and taken. Is that?
Looks like that's going to be given. That was
it is given.
Be an interesting setup. That was Counties with a sweep, or I don't know whether that was a called move or not. It was nice though.
So 3-0 to BBR. Here's the replay. And you see the long pass coming over. And it was Katie San Juan who put it down. Good take as well from that long pass.
Yeah, it was a good take. Really good hands out on the wing there, and I think Norwich will be a little bit disappointed to give away that score where they've had plenty of time. Interesting. Where Norwich have had plenty of time to release and run out and chase, but just maybe a little bit of experience, a little bit of miscommunication along the line has cost them that score there.
One difference I have noticed from yesterday in the development to today is in the development that pass out to the wing seemed to be being used a lot more, whereas I whether it's my perception or not, but this morning it appears that a play seems to go through the middle a lot more.
Yeah, that's interesting. I only caught a couple of games yesterday, and yeah, I think you're right. I think what a lot of these good, really experienced teams will be looking to do is score in those channels. In those channels. So what we would traditionally coach, what we would say is that we want to score in the easiest hole possible, and that's generally. So if you were running a strike move, for example, the ball carrier is, if they're live and they're able to score, them scoring themselves on the outside of their offside defender, that's going to be the easiest. That's the easiest option to score. That means we're not throwing a risky pass that may well not go to hands or could be chased down and defended. So what I think we're seeing here is experienced teams looking for the options in the first holes before they're then going to slightly more expansive plays. What I think we'll see as the tournament goes on and as we get into the sort of the cup semi-finals and the play ends up being with two smarter teams. Together, we'll start to see those long balls coming in.
I think we saw that yesterday as well. Certainly on this pitch as it moved into the afternoon and into those cup bowl plate games, how much closer they were. I think of the 7 games we had yesterday on this pitch in the afternoon, 6 of those were within 1 point. 3 of those went to extra time. So it's. It just goes to show how close it is. So 3-0 at half-time that BBR lead. What do you think Norwich have got to do in this second half to probably keep the tide at bay?
Interesting question. I think if you look at the scores that they've given away, it's all been where the ball has been turned over in their own half, whether that's through running out of touches or from losing the ball in the ruck. Norwich's priority right now needs to be using all 5 of their touches and turning the ball over on the opposition's 7, which is easier said than done. I think that they're spending a lot of time trying to make touches sort of 3-4 metres off of their own sideline, which is killing their own space. If they've got a subbing move that can use the middle of the pitch a little bit more, it'll keep the Bareback Riders defenders a little bit more honest and might net them some more yards.
Fifth game of the day, we've got BBR looking comfortable 3-0 ahead. I would assume. I think this is their 3rd game of the morning.
Yeah.
What is their priority going to be for this second half? Do you think they might try and just tail it back a bit so that they're a little fresher for this afternoon, or do you think they might go and try and score a few more points?
It's a good question. I think they've with BBR they've probably only got one pace, which is a good one, as we've seen. I think they're finding the yards quite easier against Norwich at the moment. So they're what I'm perceiving up here is that they're not necessarily running at full tilt, and yet they're still able to make those yards. So I don't think they necessarily need to change much about the approach or the setup. I think they've got plenty of experience. Again, they've been here, they've done that, and they know how to manage themselves through a full day. So I would be surprised if the approach changes. Might see 1 or 2 of the defenders, or 1 or 2 of the players taking less defensive sets. But we'll keep an eye on that one.
Yeah. Okay. Well, there goes the hooter, and the team's not quite ready. So we will. Well, as we start the second half, I have to say goodbye to Dan. Thank you for your insight. You got another game.
I do indeed.
And good luck for the rest of the day.
Thank you very much. Pleasure to be here.
Pleasure to have your company.
Cheers.
Thank you. So, 3-0 BBR lead over Norwich. As we were saying there, it'll be interesting to see what happens in this second half. Norwich obviously will be looking to score, but can BBR manage them? Norwich must manage to get possession into 7 metres, and they're doing it again now, but it's just that final pass. Once again, just not finding its mark, and BBR will take possession once again. We're already a minute into the second half. Started here slightly late. The team's not ready as the hooter went. There it is. This appears to be another set of 6 for the Norwich Rebels. Let's see what they can do with it. Touch taken. Not a lot of movement from the Rebels at the minute. Now it's out to Sewell. Sewell can't take it with her though. Possession turned over to BBR. This is a difference that we're seeing, is how quickly that BBR are gaining possession here. However, handling error returns possession back to Norwich. Speaking too soon once again. And here's Sewell. Puts it down. Over halfway. Play on, screams the official. A few fresh legs coming on for Norwich. It's been a decent start to the second half for Norwich Rebels. Plenty of possession. Just need to penetrate that 7-metre zone a little more. They are doing now. Comes back towards the middle. Backpedaling a little bit though. There is a space out to the right hand side. Goes left. There is a touch, and I think that will give possession back to BBR, and does. So another set of 6 for the Bareback Riders. And already over halfway. So my notes fly everywhere in the wind. There's a clash at the end. I think there's maybe an injury there. I'm not sure whether it was a clash of heads or not. Seems to be some concern. It's Anna Melmoth. No, he's down. Will draw away. So there will be a delay. The clock will continue because obviously we are on the hooter. It looks like play will continue. And Melmoth will get some attention over on that far side. Let's hope she's okay. So play about to resume. We do need the ball. Still awaiting for play to resume. Anna Melmoth is up. She's being helped away, so it appears to be some sort of leg injury. It's quite far away on the other side. Let's watch this again. Comes out to Melmoth and she gets it down, and then there's a collision. So it was actually a try. Totally accidental play going in to try and stop the try, so it is 4-0 to BBR. So it was a try. But unfortunately, Anna Melmoth getting injured while scoring it. We carry on after a delay of around 2 minutes. So just over 4 minutes remaining. And Bareback Riders with a comfortable lead 4-0. Norwich showing a lot of resilience. They have had time in the attacking zone. It's just that final play has perhaps been lacking a little for them. Once again, it's BBR looking to come forward over halfway. And here they come. Oh wow, did he get that down in time? No, not given. We'll have a look at this again. So the pass came in that. It looked like he grounded it before the touch. It was Lewis Burns with the pass. But it's Norwich who have possession. The try is not given. Norwich just struggling to get forward quickly, only just over halfway now. Now they're looking to use the width, unfortunately mishandled, so that will hand possession back to BBR. Around 2.5 minutes left. 4-0 BBR lead. And the wing getting up, it's not helping from a commentator's perspective. Notes blowing all over the place, which is not a great help as BBR go in and make it 5-0. Gareth Revel with the latest try, just coming through, putting the ball down. BBR with the scoreline probably reflecting the dominance in play that they've had. But Norwich are not giving up. It's a credit to them. Into the 7 metre, but once again fumbled, and it's BBR who retake possession as we head towards the final minute of the game. Good build-up play along the right-hand side. It becomes central. Still in the middle. BBR on the 7 metre line. Out it goes. Was that in touch? No, it wasn't. That was a try, and it's 6-0. So 6-0 BBR lead as we head into the final 30 seconds. Here's the replay of that one as it goes out to the right hand side. So comfortable victory for Bareback Riders. Hooter will go very, very shortly. And there it goes. So one play for Norwich to get something on the board. Unfortunately, it's not to be. So a comfortable 6-0 victory for the Bareback Riders. Of course, the 2019 winners. A very good victory in this game against Norwich. Here are the highlights of the game. First try going down to James Tweedy. Tweedy involved again as he was the half, so couldn't put it down, but found Matt Michael who scored. Great pass out to the left wing. Katie San Juan made it 3 into the second half. BBR continuing their dominance. And Amelworth scoring, but unfortunately took an injury by scoring that try. Matt Michael with his second of the game. That made it 5. And then the final try. James Tweedy passing out to the right wing. I think it was Suzanne Browning who put it down. And so that was 6-0. One more game to come from this morning's session. That'll be Oxford against the CSSC London Eagles, third team. Join us for that shortly.
So we started back in 2012. Year to year we've always been lucky to have people who have come in very open-minded to trying something new and have been really dedicated, and after 1 year they're like, okay, I want to take this, I want to take it on to everyone else. So when we can pass it down through year to year, it's always great to sort of be looking forward to the future. And unfortunately I've been here for every year of it, so it says a lot.
We have a bunch of sessions aimed at people with lots of different abilities, and it caters to anyone who's a beginner, from our development sessions all the way to our performance squad, and having a really good setup with coaches and everyone just supporting each other is what makes it a really good family team.
Our competitive touch, we can step up a standard. We've got Matt Davis who's been great coaching us all.
You learn a lot in the games and they're just really helpful, and they'll just like to say you could do this next time, and they're really helpful, just giving you little tips and pointers.
Our first year started really small. We only had about 40 or so members, and then regularly we had about 25 come to sessions. Through the years now we're looking at about 90 members. We've got a lot of people just wanting to come down, play a bit of social touch, and then we've got people who want to play competitively. And obviously with England Touch it's progressed as a sport over the last few years, so it's great to be able to influence us in the university game.
Actually, when I was looking at universities, I was always focusing on touch, and rugby union were a big part of which university I was choosing because it's such a huge part of my life. I've been playing for nearly 11 years now. The level is higher than what I expected just because I've come from such a high intense level recently, but it's a nice surprise. Everyone's really lovely, really welcoming. The game is good, the competitions are good. At UTS I've played in 2 of them so far. Unfortunately I was injured for the other one.
The standards stepped up over the years. I remember playing in the first UTS, and it wasn't a bad standard by any means. It was a bit more rugby based, but now through the years it's progressed. There's a lot more skill based in it. You've obviously got the number of teams who are entering into it is incredible, and obviously at Loughborough it means that we can put in 2 teams. We're looking at getting a 3rd team for future UTSs. When you hear about Loughborough rugby, now sort of to be considered with that is obviously such a great thing for us.
So my first year playing touch rugby, and I think one of the best things about it is it's just a really social thing. Like so many people, like loads of different people turning up and playing touch, and it's just great to get to know all of them. Loads of different backgrounds, just a load of fun really, just meeting a load of really great kind of like-minded people.
This is Loughborough Students Touch.
So, players and officials, 2-minute warning for the final game. 3-minute warning.
Welcome back to Banbury. Just get my teeth back in. It is our final game of the morning session in this England Touch Rugby Elite National Series as Oxford take on CSSC London Eagles, 3rd team. I'm delighted to say, joining me from the recently victorious Bareback Riders is Joe Kruger. And Joe, great victory for you in that last game.
Yeah, it was good. We had a very tough game first off. We had hot custard. That was a very, very tough game. Obviously, the recent winners of the NTS won, so we sort of thought, right, we're going to have to bring our A game now. We actually came out winners of that 4-2. I think we surprised them a little bit with our work rate, obviously being first game and all that. But yeah, no, so that was a really good game. But yeah, the game that we just played now, that was also a really good game. It was nice, fast-paced. Unfortunately, we had a little bit of an injury, so we had to waste a little bit of time there. But
is Anna Malmouth okay? I think.
Yes, yeah, she's fine. I don't think anything's broken, so which is obviously positive. But yeah, I think she will be okay. She had it iced up, so yeah, I think she's going to be okay.
Good. That's always good to hear. Yeah. So looking ahead to this one, Oxford 14th in round one. This is London Eagles' third team, and as we said earlier about the depth that club has. They were 23rd, but this is their third team, so it's incredible to have so much depth at this level.
Yeah, I think it's great, especially there's a lot of the good touch community in London, and I think it's great that they're able to put out a third team, especially in mixed as well. So yeah, it's great, but you just want to kick or tap, I think.
Yeah. So it is London who will get us away in the, I suppose we can describe it as teal and white kit.
So, yeah.
a sort of green, we'll call it. Oxford are in the dark and light blue strip, and it's London who go through straight away. Thomas Hopkins Flanagan, he has the ball now, and London with a strong start so far.
Good ML. Wing was on there. Just have to notice that, but it's okay.
Just pass not quite strong enough, but it.
I think it's a touch and pass.
Yeah, Oxford will have the ball. We'll see what they can do with their first possession of the game.
Nice, good yards. Second, you always want to get second or third on halfway, so that's a really good drive. Ooh, nope. Thought I might have been off the mark there, but it's okay.
He's still
fourth coming, just get up to near that 7. There we go. Probably set up for a scoop now, maybe a move.
They're heading towards the 7 metre, but running out of touches.
Sweeper in. That's the wrong minute to pick up. Nice, good play. That's a really good.
Oh, that's a great try. Great try. Lots of space over on this right hand side.
Yeah, so you see with that play, they were trying to do a sweeper.
So we'll see the replay in a second. And does Oxford take the lead? There we go.
Yeah, so the wrong middle essentially for Oxford made that touch. So it's a great time to have a pickup because it's on the wrong middle. So you'd be going into a man on if he gave that play. So it's a really good play to pick that up there. Obviously got a score out of it.
Yeah, Hannah Rickards putting the ball down, but lots and lots of space for her on the way.
Yeah.
So London though on the 7 metre line, so we'll be looking to get back straight away. They appear to have a bit of an injury though.
Yeah, he just rolled his ankle.
Yeah. Try and see who that is limping off. I think it's Robert Hopkins. He's off the pitch and someone is going around to attend to him now. However, the Eagles continue on 7 metres. Just looking for that little bit of space to open up. And the pass just not completed, so Oxford will once again take possession.
Yeah, I think just a little bit hesitant there. Just needed to do a move and stick with it. Yeah, just a little bit hesitant, but calm the nerves on pitch 1. Second, third coming up now.
Right.
That's better defence there.
So they are fourth touch and just over halfway, so we can just see what they're able to do. It comes out to the right wing again, but this time Rickards can't take it with her. So possession returns back to the Eagles.
I think they're just trying a bit too much Jouet then. Just needed to set up the scoop, try and end. Even if you end in their 7, their try line is a positive, so I need to try and get that field position.
Even though obviously it's a smaller pitch than a normal rugby pitch, we can see the posts here.
Yeah.
it's still an awful long way with 6 touches from one end to the other.
Yeah, 100%. There's so much running involved. There's hardly any rest.
Because we was talking in the last match about how it started off beautifully sunny this morning. Sun's still sort of coming in and out, but a lot more cloud cover. Does that help? Or is it better with the sun out?
It's better for me with my skin, obviously being ginger. It does. Especially when you think about like with the eye line and the sun and that sort of thing, and for your passes. A nice sunny but cloudy day is probably perfect. This is probably perfect conditions.
Yeah.
There's a slight breeze, so obviously it's hot, but you have that breeze to cool you down. But it's obviously not raining. Obviously you don't want rain and strong wind really. Good conditions.
Yeah. Rain a feature of the start of the day yesterday in the development session, and
watch that on stream. That's good to do yesterday.
There's a few handling errors earlier on though.
Yeah, I think they're just starting to creep in a little bit. Just need to, as I said, just keep a bit more composure, a bit less hesitant. Just try and set something up. Just come on the pitch knowing what you're going to be running. And just go from there.
It's Oxford in possession once again, building down the left. They're coming back centre now. Nice take, but stopped in his tracks. That was Amro Karim.
Full off touch and it set something up now. Try not to waste fifth. Right, sweeper. That was on the correct middle, so.
Through it goes. Score. That's a nice play. Through the middle.
Yeah,
there's Chris Wimpenny coming through there.
Yeah, well played. Just a really easy sweeper step back. Middle's not tight enough.
You see straight through the middle and down there. Very, very good try. Nice quick passing though by Oxford there.
Yeah, it was good hands. Yeah, it's quick step, sweeper step back, and it's just the mids need to be tighter there for the Eagles. So how you sort of prevent those scores. So.
Now, London once again they have had possession in the Oxford half. It seems to be that final pass or just something that breaks down the play for them.
Yeah, it's that end play. It's either, as we've just seen again, a handling error or just a bit of a silly mistake. Really. It's a bit of a coach skill, to be honest. But, is he in? Has he got the legs? No, it's good play though. He knew he didn't have the legs, slowed down, still got that momentum. Some players would just try and keep going and then get touched and they've got to come all the way back. Momentum's gone. So he did really well. It's not back himself.
I think one of the things that is, well, for me anyway, has looked pretty obvious in this first half. It is the speed of Oxford when they're going forward compared to the Eagles.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, it's a bit chalk and cheese though, so I'm sure they'll talk about it at half time and have a little tweak. Here we go.
Good possession from the Eagles as they drive, getting towards the 7-metre line now, just having to check. Takes the touch.
I'd still count that as a positive though. I know he didn't touch, but look where they are. If they can try and pressure now.
2 touches down for Oxford, 3 as they get to halfway.
He might have gone a bit early there, but
still halfway on the 4th, so
yeah, so it's a
better defence from the Eagles.
Exactly, yeah. But they've been able to do that because they finished near the 7, so they've been able to apply that pressure instead of it being on the halfway line.
I think that was forward. Yeah. It was.
Good call, ref.
So Eagles take possession once again. 2 minutes left in this second half. Was it first? I did that again in the last game.
Was it the 2-0?
I think it was probably the 2-0 that struck me there. 2 minutes left in this first half. It is the first half. So Oxford have looked quite comfortable so far, but Eagles have asked a few questions.
Yeah, they've been good. They're sort of starting to finish down now. So again, need to go right here.
Oh, space opened up. Was there a touch? I think there was.
Yeah. Half as well. And 6 touches, same difference.
So Oxford back with possession, around 90 seconds remaining in this first half. Thank you. I very nearly said second again.
I think she pinged for an off the mark there.
So, Eagles with possession once again.
Decent position.
Good area of the pitch.
Yeah, see if we can try and capitalise now. Oh. Just need to try and get down. If you can get down that, so where they were, if they could try and get down to the 7 in probably 2 touches would be ideal. But they just sort of wasted 3 touches there realistically.
Is that down to their indecision, or was it more good defence from Oxford?
Yeah, so to be fair, Oxford are applying very good pressure. They're keeping that pocket, so just sending those 2 players up, and maybe London Eagles, third team, just aren't maybe they haven't played against that necessarily, where they're doing shooters, etc. So just something at half time to say, look, let's try and eliminate those shooters, and they can try and at least play then.
Around 15 seconds remaining before the hooter will bring an end to the first half of action. So 10 minutes left of this morning session as the hooter goes, and there's the touch. In fact, it is a try. The try is given. So 3-0 Oxford lead.
Yeah, so that was a nice, again, quickie step back. I think they're just utilising that step back.
Yeah, they'll see that right at the end. Yeah, dived over. And I think that has to go down as a bit of a breakdown of the Eagles' defence there.
Yeah, again, I think they're just targeting those middles. They're just not close enough. They just need to make those middles tighter, and that'll just stop the step back. And then they can work around everything else then. But yeah, so it was a good first half for Oxford, so we'll keep going.
Yeah, 3-0 Oxford lead, so plenty for the Eagles to talk about and work on before they start the second half. Just 10 minutes left, and then we're in to the knockout sessions in the afternoon. So we'll of course have the afternoon session for you live on YouTube. We'll bring you the games that we have as soon as we have them, and it's always interesting when you sort of get the morning out of the way and go into the afternoon, and then I suppose it is the really serious stuff starts. Not to say that the morning isn't, but then it's a lot more even. I think teams more evenly matched, and everyone trying to get that little bit of silverware.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, yeah, those 3 games. Like say you do lose one, just because of the format, you could then go on to win the next 2, and you could definitely still be in with a chance. But in the afternoon, it's knockout, so you one game and you're out. So yeah, it's a final every time after the in the afternoon. So yeah, it'd be good to see who we got next actually.
We will schedule where we're going. If you have access to the internet, as I'm sure most people do, if you go to englandtouch.org.uk, you will find this afternoon schedule on there. Just click on the link and you will see the results from all the earlier games from all 6 fields, and the schedule will keep getting updated as knockouts happen throughout the afternoon. So 3-0 Oxford lead here in this final game of the morning here on pitch 1. So what do you think Oxford are going to do in this second half? Obviously we've got a lunch break coming up, but do you think they will try and manage the game and try and conserve a bit of energy, or do you think they will try and get as many tries on the board as they can?
Yeah, I think if it was the sort of old format where it was 20 minutes each way, I think you could probably just sort of coast a little bit, but I think Eagles are going to have to come out flying now, so they're gonna. Yeah, I mean it's 3-0. I've seen teams come back from 3-0, 4-0 down, so I definitely would. I'd probably be a bit cautious, but I think we'd try and get 1 or 2 more scores in, and then feel a bit more comfortable.
Right, already at 7 metres from the tap off. Do have touches in hand.
The sweeper. Will it be a step back? Pick up.
Space out on the right hand side.
Oh, he's done it anyway.
Wow, what a great try. We'll see that one again on the replay, but Oxford 4-0 ahead straight away. Step and then a dive. Tim Hughes.
Nice.
Great play.
It was a good dive. I think if I'm his coach there, I'm probably just saying, look, you've scored. It's a good try, sorry, but you've got to utilise your wing there.
Yeah,
I think she was in acres of space, and if he hadn't have scored that, he's got egg on his face. So
Yeah.
It was one of those where it was like, well, if you don't score this,
Yeah. Yeah, see.
But luckily he did. So.
If he doesn't score, he's probably staying on for the whole 10 minutes. He's not going back to that sub box.
Big D set from him.
The Eagles, once again, and they have shown that when they've had possession, they have got into those areas. It's just that final.
Yeah, it's that end execution.
However, they are at the 7 metre, so chance to gain them. The loose pass there. Probably not the best decision.
I think it was fist, but I mean, well, yeah. At least they're this side. Is Oxford have now got to go all the way over to the other side of the sub box, so it's sort of good to sort of pen them in if they can. What I'd be saying to Eagles now is just compressing that sub box. You just know they're going to go over there, so just compress that side of the field. You don't even need to worry about this half of the pitch. Just compress their sub box and just try and get those shooters in. That's fourth touch. That's some good defence actually, to be fair. Fifth coming.
So here come Oxford again, heading towards mishandled, so that will give possession back to the Eagles. 2.5 minutes into this second half. This is definitely the second half.
Yeah. Glad we got that cleared.
And here's the Eagles with possession coming over halfway now. Now into the 7 metre, big long pass, just not taken, and again it is that final execution once again, isn't it?
I think they'll be kicking themselves. They are getting into really good positions. Just that execution, they've had 4 or 5 chances now where just that final either pass or that catch.
If they could have that final pass execution, the Oxford probably couldn't complain about if the scores were like within 1 or even level.
Yeah.
I suppose it's just the difference, isn't it, of having that clinicality within that final area that Oxford have, and
I think that can be the difference between like a good team and a really good team. It's just the standard of actually being able to get to the pitch is actually really good. It's just that final element. I think is probably what decides the two teams.
Here's the 5th try for Oxford, and just bursting through is Luke Milsom.
Yeah, that's a really good score. The player did call a touch, but he was offside, so it was a good call from the ref to give that play on call. Otherwise, he would have had to bring him back for penalty offside. So that was really nice play from the ref there to allow that play to carry on.
A bit of speed from the Eagles here as they once again in the 7 metre, and they've had no problem getting to the 7 metre line. Maybe a bit of space on the right hand side. Just a
did try it.
Pass back. Just not finding its mark, and once again it's Oxford, but they have to start from virtually their own try line. Already up to halfway. Screaming for it on the left wing was Hannah Rickard. She was in lots and lots of space.
Just a little fumble. Oh no, in the ruck. Just a penalty.
So Eagles have it once again.
Are you watching the big game tonight?
I think from my attire, I think you can.
Oh yeah, I didn't notice.
Of course I will be. Living in Nottingham at the time this finishes, as the Eagles do go over. Is that going to be given?
I think he was offside, so he's probably going to give a penalty. Nope.
No, it is. What?
Wait for the signal. Offside.
Offside, so it goes back to Oxford. So living in Nottingham, I should have just about enough time to get back from here to
just
in time for kick-off, hopefully.
Open up a bevy. Get in your chair. Put your feet up.
Yes, very much looking forward to it. But obviously concentrating on this for the rest of the day, which is great because it takes my mind off it.
No worrying.
Here come London again. Oh, that's nice.
Pass.
And
there we go.
Finally, they get the score that perhaps the territory they've gained deserves.
Yeah.
Finally, it comes off. Let's watch this again. Nice little bit of speed and quick hands as well as it comes out.
Yeah, the Oxford link's just bitten there.
Alice Tozy.
Probably should have had a bit more comms to stay out, but well worked try.
And it is 5-1. And
probably a little bit too late now, but
you have to say it would have been unlucky if they'd have gone through this game without getting a try, considering how much time they have spent in Oxford's 7-metre area.
Yeah, definitely.
Right, it's Oxford once again who are at the 7-metre line themselves.
Oh.
And that is another try. So 6-1, Oxford lead. And once again, that was Luke Milsom going over. Watch it here, he just quick feet, changes direction and gets over before the touch.
That's a good score.
Yeah, so 6-1 to Oxford. Here come the Eagles again. Eagles once again getting up to that try line.
New set 6.
So an opportunity for Eagles to get a second try on the board.
It's a big opportunity now.
6 touches in the 7-metre area.
Yeah.
They've gone through, I think that.
Yeah, good
Yes,
score.
it is given.
Good score there from the Eagles.
So watch this again. Thomas Hopkins Flanagan going over. Nice reach as well. He used his height well there.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, that's a good score.
Yeah, so it's good to see from the Eagles getting a couple of scores that their play certainly has deserved.
Yeah, definitely. It's just unfortunate, it's just a bit too late. It would have been nice to see them get those couple of scores in that first half. Might have been a bit of a closer finish then.
Well, we are into the final minute. So this will be a victory for Oxford, but you know, Eagles can take some momentum into the afternoon session with a couple of good tries late on here.
Yeah, definitely. I think they just, as I said, they've been getting up there. They just need to, so that last play, just slow it down a tiny bit. Just think about what they're going to do and go from there.
Another try for Oxford there.
Yeah, cookie again.
Yeah, so 7-2 Oxford lead into the final 30 seconds.
Will we get one more?
A chance for Eagles in these final few seconds. Can they get it over the line? They're being pushed back. Good defence by Oxford. Here they come now, though. Hooter is going to go any second. There it is. Just not quite got the shimmy. Shame there, as Emma Young was looking to just get through and probably get the ball down. But that's a good 7-2 victory for Oxford against the CSSC London Eagles third side. So here's the highlights, or try-lights, from this final game of the morning session. That was 2-0 to Oxford. It was 3-0 at half-time. This was the third. Again, going through the middle. Joseph Hartley there. And the Oxford dominance continued into the second half. Early on they scored again. Tim Hughes that time made it 4-0. And then Luke Milsom, the first of his 2 tries, made it 5-0, bursting through. Then the Eagles got on the board. Nothing more than their efforts deserved. Alice Tozy putting the ball down for their first try, but Milsom again.
Good feet there.
Yeah, getting his second, that made it 6-1. The Eagles weren't done though. They're able to get another on the board. Great reach there. But it was Oxford who finished the scoring. Philippe Advocaten finishing the scoring for a 7-2 victory for Oxford against the London Eagles. Well, that's it for the morning session, Joe. I want to thank you very much for joining us, and all the very best for this afternoon.
Thank you very much. I really appreciate that.
Thank you.
Cheers.
And you can join us again. We will be back at 1:25, so just half an hour away until the start of the stream for the afternoon session. But from me, Jonathan Bullard, thank you very much for joining us this morning. Plenty more to come this afternoon. Do join us for that. But for now, from Banbury, it's goodbye.